Chapter 802. Baya smiled. I know. I'll have a good sleep and wait for you to come back. Okay. Baya went to the kitchen to prepare dinner while Gu Lingqing was having a meeting in the study. At first, there was no one around and it was peaceful. But suddenly, 8 people appeared. Including Zhang Xingyu, there were 9 of them in the study. She thought that they would have to eat too, so she had to cook more. She went to catch the biggest fish and made braised fish, braised pork with preserved vegetables, pork knuckles, and 3 delicacies soup. She thought that there were too many people and it might not be enough, so she made beef with pickled cabbage, beef tenderloin with green peppers, and eggs with tomatoes. She cooked more rice and made it into egg fried rice. When everything was ready, it was already 7:30 at night. Gu Lingqing was still having a meeting. She went upstairs and knocked on the door. Come in, Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. Baya paused for a moment. The voice seemed to fall on her heart, causing it to throb in circles. This scene was very familiar, and it felt very familiar. She pushed the door open and saw Gu Lingqing, who was standing in front of the crowd and talking about strategy. He was wearing a black suit. His eyes were cold and sharp, but when he looked at her, there was a layer of gentleness. You guys eat first. Even if you're going to do a mission, you need to eat to have the strength. We'll have the meeting after dinner, Baya said gently. Okay, Gu Lingqing replied and walked towards Baya. The others also stood up and walked outside. I've prepared dinner for you guys. Let's eat together, Baya said. The others looked at Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing nodded. The soldiers smiled and said, I haven't eaten Madam's cooking for a long time. I miss it. From what they said, Baya could tell that they had eaten her cooking before. I've made a lot of fried rice, Baya said. Wait a minute. Baya served a pot of fried rice. There's more if it's not enough. I've cooked more. It'll be good when the time comes. Thank you, madam, said Zhang Xingyu. They sat down and ate. Baya looked at the honest-looking soldiers and felt that this scene was familiar. After the meal, Gu Lingqing and the soldiers continued their meeting, while Baya went to the kitchen to wash the dishes and do some cleaning. At 10 o'clock, they left on time. Gu Lingqing turned around and glanced at Baya. She smiled and waved her hand. After they left, she habitually played elegant music, lit incense, practiced yoga, took a shower, went to bed, closed her eyes, and slept. She knew that she should sleep, but logic often couldn't overcome her emotions. She was still worried about him, afraid that something would happen to him. Time ticked by. She kept her eyes closed, but she didn't fall asleep. Unable to fall asleep, she got up, opened the curtains, stood by the window, looked outside, and waited quietly. When the sky started to brighten, she looked at the time. It was already 5:05 in the morning, but Gu Lingqing hadn't come back yet. He didn't come back. Her heart was in knots. She waited until 6 in the morning. The sky was already bright, but Gu Lingqing still hadn't come back. She went to cook breakfast. She was going to make porridge with pork and century eggs, water the flowers, and feed Little White. The sun came out, but Gu Lingqing still hadn't come back. Her heart ached. Suddenly, she heard the sound of a car outside. She put down the hose in her hand and ran to the door. When she opened the door, Gu Lingqing stood at the door. The sun was behind him, as though it was giving him a golden glow. He smiled at her. Baya jumped into his arms and hugged him tightly. His body was very wet, and there was no sweat on him. His clothes smelled of smoke, gunpowder, and the morning sun. Gu Lingqing hugged her back, lowered his head, and kissed her on the forehead. Baya looked at Gu Lingqing. Did it go well? Very well, solder was completely dismantled, Gu Lingqing said with a smile. Then, have you paid off all the missions you owe? Baya asked with hope. Yes, Gu Lingqing replied, but 3 of my men were injured, so I came back a bit late. Are they badly injured? Baya asked worriedly. They're not in danger anymore. They just need to rest for a month or two. I've already arranged it. Did you watch it at the research center? Yes, on the surface, it's a research center for the brain, but it's actually one of my secret bases, Gu Lingqing explained. So Solder was completely dismantled? Baya asked worriedly. Yes, they're all dismantled. There should be news in the morning. Their scandals will be reported. But to avoid trouble, I've blocked some content related to the government, Gu Lingqing explained. Baya nodded. Did your soldiers eat breakfast? They ate before they went back. They're resting in the base now. You ate too? Baya asked. Gu Lingqing shook his head. He knew that she would definitely prepare breakfast at home. He wanted to come back and eat with her. I made porridge with pork and century egg, Baya said with a smile. Emicham, Gu Lingqing entered and asked, did you sleep well last night? Baya paused. She didn't sleep at all. If she told him, he would be worried. If he encountered those things in the future, he wouldn't be able to carry out his mission properly. So, she chose a white lie. I was fine, but I woke up a bit early. Eat the porridge with pork and century egg and go to sleep. I'll go get some for you. Baya went into the kitchen and got 2 bowls of porridge. I've completed my mission here. I'll tell Cheong that we're leaving today. Do you have any more patients to see? Gu Lingqing asked. He was already preparing to go back to China. I've seen all the patients on my side. I won't take the other patients for the time being. My senior is coming over on Monday, so I'll hand over all the patients on hand to him. Under normal circumstances, we'll be able to go back on Tuesday. Also, tell your mother not to come over. Since we've decided to go back, it's very tiring to catch a flight, especially when we have a child with us. Okay. I'll call them when I wake up, Gu Lingqing said. Baya saw that he didn't sleep the night before and the night before. He only slept for a few hours in the afternoon, so she didn't say anything else. She would talk about it after he woke up. Gu Lingqing finished his breakfast and looked at Baya. He looked into her eyes and his gaze deepened. He could tell if she had slept well or not last night. In the future, I'll try not to go on a mission for the whole night. Sleep with me later, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Baya smiled. Okay. Before going to bed, Gu Lingqing was worried that Cheong would call Baya and disturb her sleep. He turned off her cell phone, turned off his own, and closed the curtains. Baya fell asleep as soon as she touched the bed. She would only feel at ease when he came back. I am Chin Tang Tang. My novel has been made into a radio drama. Please follow me on WeChat. Fairy Lake. Chapter 803. Baya woke up and opened her eyes. Gu Lingqing was not by her side. Her heart skipped a beat and she shouted, Gu Lingqing. I'm here, Gu Lingqing replied. He pushed the door open and looked at her. Baya smiled when she saw him. You only slept for a while? Not really. Gu Lingqing looked at his watch. It's almost 16:00 now. I woke up a little earlier than you. Ah. It's 16:00. I slept for a long time. Baya smiled awkwardly and got up. She went to the bathroom to brush her teeth and combed her hair. When she came out, she saw Gu Lingqing giving her a bowl of red bean soup. Eat first. We'll go out to eat later. There's a movie on. Let's go watch it together, Gu Lingqing said. Baya took the red bean soup from him and took a sip. The red beans were soft and sweet. It was delicious. You cooked for a long time, right? I cooked it with a rice cooker. It didn't take much time. Gu Lingqing entered the kitchen and took a bowl for himself. Baya looked at him. He had always been calm and resolute. Silence was golden. But, wasn't life like this? They ate together and slept together. When he said that he was working, she listened patiently. When she was troubled, she could talk to him. Every day was ordinary. There was the company of her lover. There was food and drink. Wasn't this the life she had been pursuing? I read a book in the past. The book described that there was a place on Penglai Island that was heaven. There was a rock as big as a house. It could carry 100 people in the vast sky. There were also winged fish that could carry 1,000 people in the sea. The people there lived and worked in peace. They could taste the world's delicacies and do things that were blissful. It was warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Is it a fairy tale? Gu Lingqing asked cooperatively. We are the people who lived in this heaven. It was a place that many people in ancient times envied. The rock refers to planes and the winged fish refers to submarines, Baya explained. Gu Lingqing nodded. Baya held his hand. I'm not a parasite in your stomach. I can't read your mind. I'm your wife. I'm the one who will live with you for the rest of my life. We'll have to rely on each other even when we die. You must tell me if you need anything. I'll tell you if I need anything, Gu Lingqing promised. Baya smiled. While getting love, she could also feel at peace, and she would feel like she had the whole world. After eating, she went upstairs to get her phone. When she turned it on, many calls came in. Some were from the clinic, some were from unknown numbers, and some were from the police station. She called the assistant at the clinic first. Dr. Bai, the patient you treated before came to thank you, but you weren't here, the assistant said. Bai, the assistant said. I tried to see the patients today and I came. And said. I tried to treat the patient today. It seems that the effect is not bad. If I don't understand, I will ask you again, the assistant said happily. Since you've started seeing patients, it's time to find an assistant for the clinic. Go and arrange it. Yes, thank you, Dr. Bai. Baya hung up the phone and called an unfamiliar number back. Hello, I'm Baya. Who is this? Hello, Dr. Bai. I was introduced by Mr. Chen Bin. My surname is Jiang, the doctor said politely. Chen Bin was one of her former patients. He mentioned Chen Bin's name. Baya guessed that he was there to seek medical advice. As expected, the other party asked, I would like to consult you about some matters. That. I'm sorry, it's like this. I won't be seeing patients for the time being. You should be from a country, right? I'll be going back to a country in a few days, Baya said. That's great. I'm going back to country soon. Can I make an appointment then? Mr. Jiang said. I will contact you after I return to China. I still have something to do here. I will hang up first. Baya hung up the phone. After she returned to China, she would still become a psychiatrist. However, Gu Lingqing might arrange for her to work in the military. If she worked in the military, it would be inappropriate for her to receive patients from outside. However, Mr. Jiang was introduced by her former patient. If she didn't see him, she would probably refer him to someone else. In the end, she called the police station back. Baya, you finally picked up the phone, Shen complained. Shen complained, our people bumped into the murderer, and the two of them almost collided. After they got out of the car, the murderer was polite. He apologized to us and gave us a good impression, but they didn't even exchange phone numbers. What should we do next? It's normal that they didn't exchange phone numbers. We didn't find the same phone number in the previous victims' phones, Baya said. Then how will they contact each other next time? Didn't he like our people? Since he didn't exchange phone numbers with the previous victims, how will they contact each other again? Did we lock onto the wrong suspect? Shen was confused. Gu Lingqing looked at Baya and said in a deep voice, the murderer has a high EQ and is very vigilant. He doesn't leave his phone number. He will follow his prey for a long time and make sure it's safe before he makes his move. He will create many coincidental encounters. Let AI Wei check if the murderer is following us, Baya reminded immediately. That's bad. Our people followed him back to the police station this afternoon. If he is following us, it means that the murderer already knows that our people are police officers. What should we do? Shen was worried. Let AI Wei check first. If it's confirmed that the murderer is following us, then our people will be exposed. The murderer will be alerted and won't do anything for a while. We're doomed, Shen said dejectedly. Not necessarily. We can let AI Wei track his whereabouts for 24 hours. Maybe he has a prey now. As long as we find out who his prey is, we can follow him further. It's more reliable than sending our people. That's the only thing we can do. Shen hung up. Baiya sighed. I'm afraid this case won't be solved in a short time. It's similar to the previous case. We need to find the next time they commit the crime. I've already told Xiong that we're going to launch 11. The cases on hand are all waiting. There's no hurry. We can travel around before we go back. Can we go to Country D? I want to see Lu Shuang before I go back, Baiya said. Gu Lingqing nodded. I can go with you tomorrow. Thinking that she might see Lu Shuang tomorrow, Baiya became nervous. How was she doing now? If she was still waiting for Shen Yiyan, she would definitely save Shen Yiyan when she returned to Country A. She didn't have many friends, so she cherished them. I am Qin Tang Tang. My novel has been made into a radio drama. Please follow me on WeChat. Jade Lake. Chapter 804. The days of leisure and companionship passed by quickly. In the blink of an eye, it was Monday. Baiya and Gu Lingqing went to the airport to pick up Su Changhe and his wife. Their plane was not delayed and arrived in Seattle as usual. Su Changhe came out with 2 suitcases, a big backpack and a big bag. His wife came out with the child. Baiya waved. Su Changhe smiled and saw Gu Lingqing beside Baiya. He was stunned. He and Gu Lingqing had not seen each other for a few years. Back then, it was just a glimpse. Now, Gu Lingqing was still breathtakingly handsome. Moreover, time had been kind to this man. It seemed that he did not age even if his appearance did not change. He went forward and greeted Gu Lingqing. Hello. Gu Lingqing responded in a cold and callous manner. Student, get in the car first. Let's go eat first, Baiya said and took the suitcase from Su Changhe. Gu Lingqing felt sorry for Baiya and took the suitcase from Baiya. Su Changhe's hands were empty. He helped his wife push the car and said, Jiao Jiao is still jet-lagged and has a headache. Let her sleep for a while. Okay, let's go back first and put the luggage away, Baiya said. Gu Lingqing drove. Su Changhe's wife had a headache. She leaned against the chair and rested. Baiya helped Su Changhe carry the child. His child was 2 years old and could talk. He was a little big and a little shy, but he always kept a little secret and was very cute. Call me Auntie, Baiya said. Auntie has delicious candy here. Auntie, the little boy shouted. Baiya had already prepared a gift for the child. She took out a lollipop and gave it to the little boy. He loves candy. He can't help but want to eat it, Su Changhe said helplessly. This candy is made from milk powder. It's not very sweet. Children can eat it to supplement their calcium, Baiya explained. Su Changhe glanced at the child. The child held the candy in his mouth and ate happily. You're still the most attentive. After Jiao Jiao goes to sleep, I'll bring you to your future restaurant. Business should be good at night. At present, it's already in a stable state of profitability. You don't have to worry too much about it. There's a person in charge. You just have to check the accounts at the end of the month and see how much profit we've made. If it's a lot, give the employees a red packet. They'll be happy too, Baiya said. I'll help you look after the restaurant. I'll send you all the profits, Su Changhe said. There's no need. You know I'm not short of money. I need you to take good care of my house. The key is my flowers and plants, Baiya said. No problem, Jiao Jiao likes to grow flowers and plants. There's a psychiatrist and a newly hired assistant at the clinic. This assistant also graduated from psychology and is from Country A. You can handle the rest. Senior's psychological skills are better than mine. You should be able to do better than me, Baya said. How can I be better than you? Your hypnosis skills are the best in the industry. I'm still far from you. Moreover, this aspect relies on reputation. The better the reputation, the more the patient trusts. The more trust the patient has, the higher the possibility of treatment. I'll do my best. There are many psychiatrists in America. It's different from country A. In country A, if you go to see a psychiatrist, many people will think that the person is crazy. So, to prevent others from talking about it, many people don't go to see a psychiatrist even if they have psychological problems. Nowadays, the pace of life in many cities in country A is very fast. All kinds of psychological problems have appeared, especially among people in the 80s and 90s. Moreover, they are more open-minded. Many people will come for counseling. But it's different from America. In America, people need the help of a psychiatrist when they break up. In America, unless they have serious depression, they won't come for help, Su Changha sighed. So, you should do well in America. As for the fame, you just need to create hype. I'll write you a recommendation letter before I leave and find a few friends in the media to help you promote it. Then, there won't be a problem. Baya, I'll remember your kindness. If you need help in the future, just come to me. I'll go through fire and water for you, Su Changha said righteously. Baya smiled. Okay. While they were talking, they arrived home. Su Changha woke Su Jiao up. Gu Lingqing helped carry the luggage. Baya carried the child and told them which room to sleep in. They put the luggage in a simple place. Su Changha's wife took the bed and went to sleep first. Su Changha went out. Is she okay? Baya asked. She's still jet-lagged. Her head hurts. She'll sleep for a while and buy some bread when she comes back. Su Changha closed the door. Okay, there's water in the fridge. Put it by her bed. She can drink it if she wants, Baya reminded him. Okay, but wait for me. I'll make some milk powder for the baby. Baya looked at the way Su Changha made milk powder. The image of Gu Lingqing making milk powder flashed in her mind. When I'm not here, do you take care of our child like this? Baya asked Gu Lingqing. I don't take care of Shosho for a long time. Mom takes care of him and the little girl you left behind. Fortunately, the little girl helps to take care of the child. Otherwise, Mom might be too busy. After all, Mom has to look after the company, Gu Lingqing explained. Little girl? Baya didn't have such a person in her mind. She couldn't remember at all. She has been helping us take care of the child in the base. She has been helping to take care of Shosho since he was born. She studied medicine and helped to take care of him. She takes good care of him. Baya nodded. She still couldn't remember, but she was not in a hurry. When she returned to China, she would see it. Su Changha made milk for the child. He tested the temperature and handed it to the child. His child was very obedient. He held the milk and drank it with a jijadu sound. Su Changha put the child in the cart and said to Baya, let's go. Baya took Su Changha to the seafood restaurant. The child fell asleep while drinking the milk. Fortunately, he brought the cart, and the child slept in the cart. Su Changha covered the child with a blanket. They chatted while eating. Baya, do you want to recover your memory? Su Changha asked. Well. Baya thought about it seriously. I think my life now is very good. I don't have the memory of the past. I have Gu Lingqing to remind me. If I recover, there are also benefits. I won't be unfamiliar with everyone. After all, it's also my past experience. It's a pity to lose it. Let nature take its course. Maybe one day I will remember it. Su Changha wanted to say something but stopped. What's wrong? Do you have something to say to me? Baya saw the clue. Su Changha smiled slightly. Seeing that they were so happy now, he chose to hide it. Just like what Baya said, let nature take its course. I am Enchanting. My novel has been adapted into a radio drama. Please follow my WeChat account. Fairy Lake. Chapter 805. When are you going to hold the wedding? Su Qinghe asked. Baya looked at Gu Lingqing in surprise. We haven't held the wedding yet? Gu Lingqing held her hand tightly in his. Something happened to me before the wedding, so I only got the marriage certificate and didn't hold the wedding. When I go back this time, I'm going to have a good wedding. Baya looked at him suspiciously. What's wrong? Gu Lingqing asked. Our child is already so old, but we haven't held the wedding yet? I didn't know we had a child before. Our child was taken away and placed in someone else's house, Gu Lingqing explained. Baya recalled that he seemed to have mentioned that their eldest son was with his adoptive parents. At that time, she was wondering why their eldest son would be with his adoptive parents. It turned out that he was taken away. Fortunately, he was found. The meal ended in a pleasant atmosphere. The next day, Baya brought Su Qinghe to the clinic and briefed him. She was going to leave the clinic to Su Qinghe. An assistant who had been following her around was reluctant to part with her and was in low spirits. Baya treated them to lunch. Firstly, it was a farewell. Secondly, it was to let Su Qinghe get to know them better. Dr. Bai, when are you leaving? The assistant who had been following Baya asked. Tomorrow, Baya said. So soon? The assistant was shocked. She looked at Baya pitifully and was reluctant to part with her. You can call me when there's internet and video in the future. Also, Su Qinghe is my senior. When I was studying psychology, I asked him about things I didn't understand. He knows more than me, Baya said with a smile. She felt a little melancholy in her heart. Parting was always sad. Leaving meant that it would be difficult to see each other again. She suddenly understood why the ancients were so afraid of parting. At that time, they didn't have mobile phones, planes, or cars. The most convenient means of transportation was carriages. It was so far from one place to another. After they separated, it was difficult to see each other again. Even letters might not reach each other. Su Qinghe was the one who sent her home after she drank. When she got home, she was a little drunk and collapsed on the sofa. Gu Lingqing was worried. She immediately went to the kitchen to make some honey water and handed it to her. She was distressed and scolded, "Why did you drink so much wine?" "I'm a little sad," said Baya softly. "Why are you sad?" Gu Lingqing was more worried, afraid that she was in a bad mood. Baya drank the honey water in the cup in one gulp and put the cup on the tea table. Thinking of parting, some people will never see each other again. Even if they do, it will be a long time later. Gu Lingqing stared at her. Baya had always been cold. She rarely gave her feelings. That was because she valued relationships too much. It was easy to be a burden to herself. She simply did not accept others. When she left, she would not be so sad. Those people were just her colleagues. They had only been together for half a year, and she was already sad. His departure was a big blow to her. It was so big that she could not bear it. So, she chose to hypnotize herself. Otherwise, she would feel sad when she woke up. She would feel sad when she fell asleep. Sooner or later, her spirit would collapse. I will not leave you again, nor will I do anything dangerous. I will always be by your side and not let you worry. Gu Lingqing promised. She felt sad. She hugged him and tears flowed out. She knew herself a little. She could not even let go of her colleagues. It was impossible for her to give up her child. Unless, she could not bear a greater pain. However, she did not want to think about it. The more she thought about it, the more afraid she would be. She would rather accept her happy life now. After she finished crying, she was tired and went back to her room to sleep. Gu Lingqing packed up his luggage. Baya did not have a lot of clothes. He had even less clothes. 2 simple suitcases were all packed. She was still asleep. Because of the alcohol, her cheeks were red. He lay down next to her and slept for a while too. After some time, he noticed movement beside him and opened his eyes. Baya woke up. She flipped her hair embarrassedly. I slept for a long time. It's good to sleep more. When we go back tomorrow, we will have jet lag. It's easy to get a headache if you sleep less. Baya smiled. Then I will get drunk before boarding the plane. I will sleep once I get on the plane. I will sleep until we get off the plane. Anyway, you are here. Gu Lingqing replied dotingly. At night, they had their last dinner with Su Changhe and his wife. The next day, Baya and Gu Lingqing were leaving. Su Changhe drove them in Baya's car. Thinking about going back to country A, Baya was excited and nervous. She was excited because she could see her child again. She was nervous because she had forgotten a lot of things. On the way, Gu Lingqing took good care of her. Baya tried her best to sleep. She slept so that she wouldn't get a headache. Gu Lingqing had a good physique. He didn't sleep much and took care of her. When the plane arrived in country A, someone drove a limousine over to pick up Gu Lingqing. Baya slept for a long time. She still had a headache. She got into the limousine and closed her eyes to sleep. After driving for more than an hour, the car stopped. Someone came over to check. Chief, the soldiers greeted respectfully. Baya heard the voice and opened her eyes. When the soldiers saw that it was Baya, they smiled happily. Madam, you are finally back. Baya smiled. They seemed to be very friendly to her and happy to see her. The car continued to drive. Baya looked out of the window. She saw many fruit trees. Behind the fruit trees was a huge lake. The surface of the lake reflected the sunlight, and the ripples sparkled. An image of her fishing by the lake flashed through her memory. There was a tent and a table. There was a stove beside the table. There was water boiling on the stove and the water was steaming. It was winter. She felt a little bitter in her heart. She smiled. I should be fishing by this lake often. Yeah, Gu Lingqing replied. The car stopped. Gu Lingqing got off first. When Baya was about to get off, he carried Baya out of the car. Baya felt embarrassed. She saw some people at the door and looked over. There was a kind-looking old man and 2 young girls. Madam, you are back, one of the girls said. There were tears in her eyes and her voice was choked. She is Lin Shulan. She has been with you for a long time. She is my mother's goddaughter now, Gu Lingqing explained. The girl beside her was calmer. She greeted, Madam, you are back. Xiao Xia. She takes care of Shosho, Gu Lingqing said. Speaking of Shosho, Baya didn't see any children. She felt her shirt being pulled. She looked down. A pink and tender little boy smiled and said in a muffled voice, Little sister, you're a little girl. Mimi, Mimi, hug. I am Qin Tang Tang. My novel has been adapted into a radio drama. Please follow my WeChat account. Follow Yao Qi. You can listen to it. Chapter 806. Baya looked at him and her heart melted. She had always liked children, so she picked up Shosho. Shosho tilted his head and looked at Baya. His eyes were round and he had both her and Gu Lingqing's good points in them. He was very good looking. Shosho, call me mommy, Gu Lingqing said. Mommy, beautiful, beautiful, Shosho said and pinched Baya's face. Baya liked it and pretended to bite Shosho's hand. Shosho wasn't afraid. He looked at Baya kissing his hand and smiled adorably. Come in, it's a little cold outside, Song Shiyu said gently. Thank you, Mom, Baya said politely. Song Shiyu looked at Baya and tears welled up in her eyes. It's nothing. It's good that you're back. It's good that you're back. Song Shiyu turned around and wiped her tears. Her eyes were red. Baya followed them into the living room. There was a child in the living room. He looked at Baya coldly. His eyes were arrogant and murderous. Baya could clearly see hatred and disgust in his eyes. Who is this child? Baya asked Gu Lingqing suspiciously. Gu Lingqing looked worried and looked at Baya. Xiao Exan, Zhou Hailan, and my child. Baya looked at Gu Lingqing in surprise. There was a strange feeling in her heart. It was hard to be a stepmother. She frowned when she saw the murderous look in the child's eyes. Song Shiyu was worried that Baya would misunderstand. She immediately explained, they didn't have this child normally. Zhou Hailan got Lingqing's sperm. She and Lingqing didn't have sex. Baya looked at Xiao Xian and said with certainty, you hate me. You're the one who killed my mother, Xiaoxing complained. Xiao Xian, she didn't kill your mother. Your mother is still alive. Even without her, I wouldn't be with your mother. Besides, your mother's crime is unforgivable. It's good enough that she's still alive, Gu Lingqing said sternly. Look, you're biased towards her. I hate her, I hate you all, Xiao Xian shouted. Baya smiled. Xiao Xia, carry Shosho into the room to play. Baya passes Shosho to Xiao Xia. Xiao Xia immediately brought Shosho to the room. Do you like your grandma? Baya asked Xiao Exan. Xiao Exan looks at the kind Song Shiyu and lowers her head. Baya looks at Gu Lingqing. Can we move out? Why do we have to move out? Isn't this place good? Song Shiyu said gently, her voice full of concern. A long time ago, I read a story that goes something like this. The main character's aunt is a very kind and caring person. She bought a house in the city. Every time the villagers and relatives come to the city, they would stay at her house. She would also treat them warmly. After a few decades, the aunt's children grew up, got married and had children. The house became crowded. However, the villagers still go to her house. Sometimes, the aunt would reject them. Once she rejects them, they would say bad things about her behind her back. They said that the aunt has no conscience, that the aunt has no love, that the aunt is treacherous, that the aunt looks down on the villagers, that the aunt is arrogant, and so on and so forth. All the words they hear are negative. If a person is kind for a long time, if they are not kind once, they will be evil in the eyes of others. If a person is not kind for a long time, if they are kind once in a while, they will think that the person is not bad in the eyes of others. Xiao Exan. Baya looks at Xiao Exan. This child hates me to the core. Moreover, he is very paranoid. If I stay here, we will definitely have a conflict. If I handle the conflict, it might make him feel wronged. The adults will feel reluctant to part with this child and think that I don't have the magnanimity of an adult. If I don't handle it and let you handle it, you will feel annoyed and hurt. Secondly, I will be hurt. If you help him, in my eyes, you will be helping the wicked to do evil. I will also feel wronged, sad and sad. If you help me, then this child will be sad and wronged. He will want to take revenge even more. Living together for a long time will cause conflict. I can't change the fact that he is Gu Lingqing's child. You have the responsibility to raise him. So, I will try my best to choose a way that will not cause conflict. No, Xiao Xian is a sensible child. As long as you treat him well, he will be grateful, Song Shiyu says pitifully. Baya smiles faintly. Do you think he is a sensible child now? At work, some people think that the boss is good and some think that the boss is bad. That is because the boss treats the employees differently. If the boss treats some employees well, some employees will be grateful and work hard. If the boss treats some employees badly, the employees will naturally complain and even want to leave. The logic is the same. If you treat Xiao Xian well, Xiao Xian will know that you are his grandmother. There is no hatred between the two of you. Naturally, if you think that he is good, he will think that you are good. But to Xiao Xian, I'm his mother's rival in love. Because of me, he doesn't have a mother and can't be with his parents like other kids. This is the reason why he hates me, and it won't change. I understand his hatred, just like how I hated Xing Bachuan's wife, Chang Rian. No matter how kind, and nice I am to Xiao Xian, he will think that I am putting on an act in front of his father with bad intentions. If that is the case, why waste energy and time on unnecessary people? Baiya looks at Song Shiyu. I will be very busy in the future. I will spend my time on my husband, my child, and my work. My energy is limited. If I spend more time on other things, I will naturally spend less time on the people who are important to me. I may be able to get this child's temporary peace, but my child will also be hurt. He will think about why his mother is so good to his brother. You may think that I am heartless and unsympathetic. I am selfish. I want to give my everything to the people I want to give it to, the people I think are more important to me. So, I don't have time to take care of someone who will hate me. I am also not willing to waste time on someone who is destined to not be grateful to me. I'm sorry to disappoint you. Xiaoya, you study psychology. Maybe you can influence Xiao Xian. Xiao Xian is really a sensible and well-behaved child. Song Shiyu still didn't give up. I understand human nature. This child may not be a bad person, but he hates me. I don't have the time and energy to reform him. I don't want to spend time on things that are unnecessary to me. Mom, take good care of him. For him, having you and Gu Lingqing is enough. I am Qin Tang Tang. My novel has been adapted into a radio drama. Please follow my WeChat account. Fairy Lake, then you can listen to it. Chapter 807. Do you still have any humanity? How can you be so heartless? He is still a child. You keep saying that it is enough for him to have Lingqing. But if you leave, how can Lingqing come back? He has no mother and needs a father. That's right. You can let go of Shosho and leave. You can do that to your own son, let alone to other people's children. Song Shiyu was a little uneasy and said. Baiya stared at Song Shiyu's anger and resentment towards her. This, perhaps, was human nature. Most people stood on their own side, and she did not blame them. Every man for himself would be destroyed by heaven and earth. However, she also had to stand on her side to consider the problem. She had just arrived, but Song Shiyu already had so many opinions about her. It was obvious that Song Shiyu cared about Xiao Xian. In the future, as long as Xiao Xian provoked a little, Song Shiyu would have more opinions about her. In the long run, it would hurt the relationship between them. Song Shiyu was Gu Lingqing's mother. It was difficult for Gu Lingqing to be stuck in the middle, and she would also be annoyed. No matter how powerful the enemy was, it could not hurt a person's heart. The one who could hurt a person's heart was always the person he cared about the most. Baiya turned around and looked at Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing looked at her deeply. I respect and support your decision. Baiya's heart trembled, and some warm currents flowed into her limbs and bones. He still cared about her the most, so even if she showed the evil side of human nature, he still protected her. In her heart, his action was very warm. Similarly, in Song Shiyu's heart, she must have been hurt. Life was so angry. Everything in the world reinforced and restrained each other. What was good for one side would naturally be bad for the other side. Lingqing, I don't like Xiao Xian because he was born from you and another woman. I'm jealous, disgusted by him. I feel uncomfortable whenever I see him. Even if I pretend to be kind on the outside, I can't change the torment in my heart. But I don't want you to feel bad and be stuck in the middle. So, I choose not to be calculative. After all, you are his father. He needs you to correct his outlook on life, values, and right and wrong. In the future, you should pay more attention to him. Surround him with your love. This is the only thing I can tolerate and support you in fulfilling your responsibilities as a father, Baya said seriously. Gu Lingqing nodded. When he nodded, there was a moment of discomfort in her heart. The more time Gu Lingqing spent on Xiao Xian, the less time he spent on Shosho. However, it was impossible for a person to get everything he wanted. He shouldn't build his happiness on other people's pain. He shouldn't hope for 100%. The greater the hope, the greater the disappointment. It was enough to get 50%. If it was less than 50%, there was no need to wait and stay. Even if she was uncomfortable, she had to endure it. After all, Xiao Xian was his child. She chose to live with Gu Lingqing, so she had to accept the current situation. When accepting the current situation, she had to first consider the future. With this situation, many things could not be avoided. Instead of suffering every day in the future, it was better to think about what she could retreat from the beginning and what her bottom line was. Once she had made up her mind, there was no need to hesitate. After all, the road was chosen by herself. Baya looked at Song Shiyu. You don't have to worry now. Song Shiyu calmed down and realized that what she said just now was too harsh. I'm sorry, Xiaoya. I said the wrong thing just now. Song Shiyu apologized. Baya smiled. This is the resentment you have for me. If I were you and my daughter-in-law ran away and left the child behind, would definitely have resentment too. You're right, you don't have to apologize. Song Shiyu was worried that her behavior would chase Baya away. It's my fault. I shouldn't have said that. You've done enough for Lingqing. It's also because you love him and can't bear to be apart. That's why you made this decision. I didn't consider your pain. I'm sorry. You're a good child. I know that your decision is definitely right. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. There's no resentment. It's not about forgiveness. Thank you for helping me take care of Shosho, Baya said calmly. Her calmness scared Song Shiyu. She asked uncertainly, will you bring Shosho to visit me? I'm not staying with you, but it doesn't mean that you can't visit Shosho. I welcome you to visit Shosho anytime. But if I bring Shosho here and Xiao Xian sees him, he will feel uncomfortable. He will feel that his pitiful love has been taken away again. He will hate my child. I don't want to cause trouble for my child, Baya said rationally. Song Shiyu didn't know what to say. She lowered her head and wiped her tears. She knew that Baya studied psychology. She was more knowledgeable about life than the average person. She could see the future and predict the future. So, even though it seemed heartless, it made sense. If she said it directly, she would feel uncomfortable for a while. If she didn't say it, people would be suspicious and she would feel uncomfortable for the rest of her life. Then, can you stay here today? Song Shiyu asked expectantly. Baya nodded. It could be seen that Shosho was well taught by Song Shiyu. If she took Shosho away as soon as she came back, it would be unkind to Song Shiyu. I will stay for a few days. As for the rest, we will wait for Gu Lingqing's arrangement. Baya looked at Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing nodded. Baya went back to her room. Shosho was playing with toys in the room with Xiao Xia. Baya sat on the sofa and watched Shosho. Shosho handed his beloved car to Baya. Baya took it with a smile. Shosho went to get other gifts for Baya. Baya took it and played with Shosho, Song Shiyu's room. When are you going to move? Song Shiyu asked worriedly. Although Xiao Ye's words are harsh, she avoided unhappiness in the future. I think what she said makes sense. I will come back to see you often, Gu Lingqing said with a deep voice. Xiao Ye has always been cold and decisive. Once she has decided, no one can change her mind. From another perspective, if she doesn't come back, you won't come back either. You will only come back when she comes back. Although she is cold, she is reasonable and considerate. She won't make things difficult for you, Song Shiyu said softly. Xiaoya has forgotten most of the things. She has also forgotten about Zhou Hailan. Huh? She has forgotten most of the things. Song Shiyu was shocked. She didn't know about this. No wonder she is more rational than before. She is so rational that she is not affected by her emotions. She has forgotten most of the things. Is there an accident? She hypnotized herself. Song Shiyu was shocked again. She lowered her head and hid her emotions. I forgot that she had this ability. I am Qin Tang Tang. My novel has been adapted into a radio drama. Please follow my WeChat account. Fairy Lake, then you can listen to it. Chapter 808. Gu Lingqing could tell that she still had a grudge against Baiya. His gaze deepened. I left without saying goodbye and chose to die. She must be very sad. After all, she had worked so hard for so long. That's why she chose to forget the past. In the past, I lived for the country. Now, I want to live for her. She sacrificed so much for me, Gu Lingqing said to Baiya in a gentle tone. Song Shiyu was moved. We owe her. Don't worry about Xiao Exan. I'll raise him up and regulate his behavior. I'll teach him to be a good person. When Xiaoya left, she considered your feelings. She was afraid that you would be too sad, so she asked someone to send Xiao Exan to your side. She wanted you to be happy. If she makes you feel uncomfortable now, she hopes that you can forgive her, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Song Shiyu's eyes turned red. I just think, how can a person be so rational and heartless? Being heartless doesn't mean that she doesn't have feelings. The probability of her analysis is 80%. She just eliminated a lot of unnecessary worries, Gu Lingqing said. She's the person you love the most. You'll definitely speak up for her. Even if she's not the person I love the most, I think what she said makes sense. You have a different feeling for Xiao Exan. Now, you feel that Xiao Exan is wronged. If she and Xiao Exan have a conflict in the future, you'll side with Xiao Exan even more. Your feelings will be consumed during the incident. She's just trying to maintain the current situation, Gu Lingqing said rationally. Ah! Xiao Exan screamed in fear. Song Shiyu immediately opened the door and saw Xiao Exan lying on the ground, not moving at all. Gu Lingqing came out too. The first person he saw was Baiya standing in the corridor. What happened? He rolled down the stairs by himself, Baiya explained. Xiao Exan sat up. Her arms, legs and waist were all bruised. She pointed at Baiya and said, "It was you. You pushed me down." "Why did you push me?" Song Shiyu looked at Baiya. Baiya smiled and said to Song Shiyu, "Do you believe him but not me? He is already injured. How can you still smile?" Song Shiyu said anxiously. Baiya was also angry. "Can you tell what a smile is? I'm not laughing because I'm taking pleasure in your misfortune, but because I'm disappointed in you. Besides, even if I'm really laughing, it's only natural because he's trying to frame me. Kindness needs to be clear about the target. You should have heard of the story of the farmer and the snake. You're so eloquent. I can't argue with you." Song Shiyu helped Xiao Exan up. "Are you hurt? Where does it hurt? I'll take you to the hospital now." Song Shiyu held Xiao Exan's hand and walked away. Baiya smiled slightly. She shouldn't be angry. She looked at Gu Lingqing and said, "Do you also think that I did it? I believe he fell down on his own. There was no need for you to push him, but there was something to be gained from him pushing you." He was aiming for Song Shiyu's misunderstanding of you and her love for him, Gu Lingqing said. Baiya felt a little warm in her heart. She was not angry anymore. She came here because of Gu Lingqing. As long as Gu Lingqing understood her, she didn't care about other people. Naturally, she didn't need to care about other people's emotions and misunderstandings about her. This child must have prepared a plan. When I went out, I saw him standing at the stairs. He looked at me with hatred and fell down by himself, Baya explained. Xiaoya, you're a psychologist. What do you think we should do in such a situation? There's no solution. The reason why he did this is because of his hysterical hatred for me. In order to take revenge on me, he didn't hesitate to hurt himself. He's someone who can be cruel to himself. Although he's still young, he's very vicious. In order to avoid aggravating the hatred, the less contact, the better. So, I really can't bring him around, Baya said gently. Gu Lingqing nodded. I know what to do. Wait for me at home. Gu Lingqing went out and saw them by the lake. Song Shiyu was applying medicine for Xiao Xian. Gu Lingqing walked over and took the medicine from Song Shiyu. He squatted down and applied it for Xiao Xian. Dad, she really pushed me downstairs, Xiao Xian complained. I installed a surveillance camera in the room and checked it. I saw you standing at the stairs from the start. When you saw her coming out, you fell down by yourself, Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. Xiao Xian was stunned. He looked at Gu Lingqing carefully. Song Shiyu saw Xiao Xian's expression and knew that it was true. He comforted, Xiao Xian is still a child. It's inevitable that he'll be stubborn. Don't blame him. When a child does something wrong, he can avoid punishment because he's a child. It's mainly because the adults are soft-hearted, loving and unwilling to let him go. As time goes by, the child will feel that it's okay for him to make mistakes because someone is protecting him and spoiling him. In the future, he'll go overboard. He's trying and leveling up, Gu Lingqing said coldly. Song Shiyu's expression didn't look good. I'll teach him in the future. You can't bear to punish him this time. If you still can't bear to do it next time, I'll send Xiao Xian away and get someone to teach him strictly, Gu Lingqing said. Dad, don't, Xiao Xian knelt on the ground anxiously. Xiao Xian won't do it again. Xiao Xian will be obedient in the future. I've heard you say this a few years ago. What happened in the end? You hate her but she's innocent. I've never liked your mother. She killed my brothers and has been lurking around me. I don't expect you to understand now. I just hope that you'll understand when you grow up. Gu Lingqing stood up coldly. I won't allow you to send him away. Are you trying to force me to death? Xiao Xian is already pitiful without his parents. Where are you going to send him? Lingqing, you can't be so cruel. Song Shiyu walked to Xiao Xian's side and protected Xiao Xian. I'm not cruel. I'm just making the right choice. You're loving but you'll cause him to go astray. If you send him away, won't he go down the wrong path? He'll hate you too. Let Xiao Xian stay by my side. I'm begging you, Song Shiyu said pitifully. Gu Lingqing's heart softened. He looked at Xiao Xian in Song Shiyu's arms. This is the last chance I'm giving you. If you do something wrong again, I promise you'll lose your freedom forever. Xiao Xian nodded. His whole body was trembling with anger, tolerance, fear, and hatred. Gu Lingqing went back. Baya was playing with Shosho. Gu Lingqing sat next to Baya, looked at her and said, I will take you and Shosho back to the military area tomorrow. Bring Xiao Xia along. I think she has a good relationship with Shosho. She doesn't have a boyfriend yet. We'll find one for her in the military, Baya said with a smile. Xiao Xia immediately blushed and lowered her head shyly. What about Lin Shulan? Gu Lingqing asked. I am Qin Tang Tang. My novel has been adapted into a radio drama. Please follow my WeChat account. Fairy Lake, then you can listen to it. Chapter 809. She's your mother's adopted daughter and there's no one around her. Let her stay with your mother. Old people need to be taken care of too, Baya said gently. She was so mean to you just now. Don't you blame her? Gu Lingqing asked and passed the toy to Shosho. Of course not. She loves Xiao Xian so much. The moment I refuted her, she would definitely be angry too. When people are angry, they will definitely hurt others. That's normal. Plus, she has a grudge against me. She must vent it out. We should be filial to her in the future, Baya said with a smile. Gu Lingqing smiled too. She looked cold and aloof, but in fact, she knew what was right and what was wrong. She was also very understanding. Shosho, call me daddy, Gu Lingqing said. Daddy. Shosho played with his toy and said casually. Baya saw that he was acting weird and her heart softened. She lowered her head and kissed Shosho's face. Shosho looked at Baya and kissed Baya's face too. It was as if the intimacy came from the blood. Half an hour later. Lin Shulan came up and said to them, dinner is ready. Young master, madam, Xiaoxia, young master, come down and eat. Let's go down and eat, Gu Lingqing said and wanted to hold Baya's hand. Baya quickly carried Shosho. Gu Lingqing was speechless. Xiaoxia pursed her lips and smiled. The last time she had a gathering with her classmates, everyone said that after a man gave birth to a son, the most important thing in his heart was his wife. After a woman gave birth to a son, the most important thing in her heart was her son. They also said that after a man gave birth to a daughter, the most important thing in his heart was his daughter. After a woman gave birth to a daughter, the most important thing in her heart was her husband. She had never married, had no boyfriend and had never given birth to a child, so she just listened to it. Now, it seemed to be true. Baya carried Shosho downstairs. Song Shiyu was setting the table. She greeted respectfully, Mom. Well, have a seat. I was in a bad mood just now, so I spoke too harshly. I'm sorry. Song Shiyu apologized. It's okay, Baya said with a smile and looked at Shosho. Call me Grandma, Grandma. Grandma, Shosho called out in a childish voice. He looked at Song Shiyu with his black eyes. Song Shiyu also liked Shosho. She then looked at Baya. Shosho has a child chair. I'll carry him to eat first. All right. Song Shiyu carried Shosho and placed him on the child's chair. She prepared some food for Shosho and Xiaoxia came over to feed Shosho. Baya saw that the food was very sumptuous. There was Peking duck, beef, braised pork with preserved vegetables, prawns, braised fish, stewed chicken feet, pickled squid, white gourd spare ribs, crab tofu and a bowl of fu tiao chang. It had been a long time since she had seen so many dishes from her hometown. Her appetite was instantly aroused. She ate the braised pork with preserved vegetables and praised generously, delicious. Song Shiyu heard the praise and smiled. Eat more. You're too skinny. It's good for your body to gain some weight. I'm learning martial arts from Lingqing now to strengthen my body. Mom, you should eat more too. Baya smiled. Gu Lingqing peeled the prawns, dipped them in the sauce and placed them in front of Baya. Baya felt sweet. The prawns that Gu Lingqing peeled were very delicious. She peeled one too and dipped it in the sauce. She placed it in front of Gu Lingqing. Love was like a beautiful waltz. It wasn't about giving blindly, nor was it about gaining blindly. Instead, it was about mutual efforts. Oh yeah, is Zhang Xingyu still with you? Baya asked casually. Lin Shulan shivered and lowered her head. He should be nearby. Ask him to join us for dinner, Baya said. Okay, Gu Lingqing replied and made a call. Lin Shulan quickly gobbled up the rice and finished it in a minute. She said to Xiaoxia, you eat. I'll feed Shosho. Okay, Xiaoxia replied and sat at the dining table. Soon, Zhang Xingyu came over and greeted them respectfully, Madam, Chief, Madam Chief. Xingyu, long time no see. You've grown stronger, Song Shiyu said happily. Zhang Xingyu scratched his head and looked at Gu Lingqing. It's the chief who took good care of me. Lin Shulan stole a glance at Zhang Xingyu. Her eyes flashed with emotion. She lowered her head and continued to feed Shosho. Zhang Xingyu didn't see Lin Shulan. He sat beside Xiao Xia and smiled at her. Xiao Xia blushed even more. Lin Shulan saw the exchange of glances between them. She smiled bitterly and continued to feed Shosho. Shosho shook his head in satisfaction and knocked on the table, attracting everyone's attention. Zhang Xingyu looked at Shosho too. This kid is obviously a martial arts prodigy. Everyone at the table laughed. Even Gu Lingqing, who usually didn't smile, had a smile on her face. Lin Shulan looked at Zhang Xingyu. Zhang Xingyu didn't even look at her. She didn't want to embarrass herself, so she continued to feed Shosho. Baya could tell that there was something going on between Lin Shulan and Zhang Xingyu. She looked at Gu Lingqing and met Gu Lingqing's gaze. You wanted to matchmake them, but Zhang Xingyu didn't have the intention, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. I can tell, Baya said softly as she placed the peeled prawns into Gu Lingqing's bowl. The meal was quite harmonious. After the meal, Gu Lingqing and Baya brought Shosho out for a walk. The breeze blew past their faces, bringing with it the fragrance of flowers. Is the president your elder brother or younger brother? Baya asked. He said that he's my elder brother. Because we're twins, he looks very similar to me. I told him that he'll meet us at the military base tomorrow. Also, he's married to Mu Wan. She changed her name to Xiang Wan, Gu Lingqing said. Baya shook her head. I don't have any impression of these people. You haven't met her, but you suggested not to marry her. Mu Wan is the daughter of the eldest daughter of the Xiang family. She followed her father since she was young. She only returned to the Xiang family after her father died, Gu Lingqing explained. Baya nodded. She had no impression of these people and wasn't interested in them. She squeezed Gu Lingqing's shoulder and her eyes lit up. What position are you going to arrange for me at the military base? The wife of the chief, Gu Lingqing said seriously. Baya smiled. Arrange a job for me in the psychological field. I need to have something to do so I won't feel too empty. Okay, I'll make arrangements after we go to the military base tomorrow. Will you still accept patients who are not from the military base? Baya pondered and said, I don't think so. I can still show the soldiers' families. I used to be in the gynecology and obstetrics department, so I know how to deliver babies. Soldiers and their wives and children have been away for too long, so it's inevitable that they will be homesick. If we can bring them over and they can see each other often, they will be more grateful. Soldiers have sacrificed a lot to protect the country, so we should also fight for more benefits for them, right? About this, I'll leave it to you. If you have any ideas, you can tell me and go through the process. Don't worry about money, Guz is still rich. I am Qin Tang Tang. My novel has been adapted into a radio drama. Please follow my WeChat account. Fairy Lake, then you can listen to it. Chapter 8:10. Baya lowered her head and laughed softly. Gu Lingqing looked at her, puzzled. What are you laughing at? I feel very happy, so I'm very happy. I'm also thankful for my hard work in the past, so that I can easily obtain happiness now, Baya said happily, her eyes reflecting the light of the street lamps, full of emotion and passion. When he heard her say that, his heart was filled with tenderness. He smiled and held her hand, intertwining their fingers. I'll tell you everything in the future. I won't let you guess or make a choice. That's the best. You know, when you do a job, you'll get tired of it. I'm always trying to guess people's hearts at work. If life is so tiring, I'll feel very annoyed. Baya leaned on his shoulder and looked up at the moon. The moon was round and bright, looking very beautiful. When are you going to visit Lu Shuang in Country D? I'll make the arrangements, Gu Lingqing said gently. I want to go after I see Shiniyan, so that I can answer to her. Otherwise, if I go empty-handed and bring nothing to her, it'll only add to her worries, Baya said rationally. Okay. The two of them stood together and looked at the moon. Xiao Xia held Shosho's hand and stood at the side, looking at the moon with them. The autumn wind blew over. It was cool, but mixed with the fragrance of nature, it felt very beautiful. It was as if they were in ancient times, enjoying the peace and beauty of nature. The next day, Baya woke up naturally. She looked to her side and saw that Gu Lingqing was no longer there. He usually woke up earlier than her. She went to brush her teeth and wash up. When she went out, she saw Gu Lingqing running around the lake. She ran with him, trying her best to keep up with his slow pace. They ran 10 laps and came back. I'll teach you a few of the most useful defensive skills. Sure, Baya replied. Do you know where the weakest part of the human body is? Gu Lingqing asked. Eyes, throat, and there, Baya said. If the opponent attacks you from the front, in a moment of desperation, you should attack his eyes and throat. Except for the weak points, these two places have no defense. If you kick your hand over there, the opponent will clamp your leg, which will put yourself in danger. Gu Lingqing explained in detail. Baya nodded and went to attack Gu Lingqing's eyes. He did not move. Of course, she wouldn't really attack his eyes. She stopped and asked, why didn't you dodge? I want you to find your sense of existence, Gu Lingqing said earnestly. If I didn't hold back, would you have lost your eyes? Although Baya scolded him harshly, she still felt sorry for him in her heart. Moreover, there was a very sweet feeling. Didn't you stop it? Gu Lingqing said dotingly, in order to ensure that you can hit the enemy without fail, I will train your speed and the strength of your fingertips. Do you know how to train them? Baya shook her head. Although she had done research on psychology, she knew nothing about training. How? First, lift dumbbells for an hour every day. Half an hour in the morning and half an hour in the evening. Then, do 6 sets of pull-ups every day. 3 sets in the morning, 30 in each set. 3 sets at night, 30 in each set. Let's do it slowly. Pull-ups? I can't do any of them. That's because you lack arm strength. Does training arm strength have anything to do with fingers? Baya was confused. Actually, there are exercises that involve fingers. Besides, increasing muscle strength will improve your speed and strength. If you can't even do one pull-up, you can change to push-ups. Can you do that? Baya shook her head again. Very few girls can do one. I can't even do one. Do half a push-up first. Take it slowly. Baya was confused. Why do half a push-up first? One is to put your hands on the ground. Your hands and feet are on a flat surface. Half a push-up is to put your hands on the stone bench first. Your hands and feet are at a 45-degree angle. You can do it easily this way. Then, slowly lower the height of your hands until you can do a standard push-up. I will train with you. We have all the time in the world, Gu Lingqing said softly. Baya nodded, then, I'll try half a push-up first. She looked at the chair by the lake. Can I put my hands on it? Yes. Baya put her hands on the chair and pressed down. She did 3 push-ups. Gu Lingqing leaned over and held her stomach with his hand. He reminded her, when you do push-ups, you have to press your body down. All the strength is concentrated in your palms. You don't have to move your butt. Baya was speechless. She blushed. She imagined herself doing it. It was awkward. She pressed her body down. Her arms were too thin and had no muscles at all. They could not support her weight at all. If not for Gu Lingqing holding her up, she would have fallen to the ground. I'm sorry. My stamina is really bad, Baya apologized. It's my fault for not taking good care of you. Don't worry, we can do it slowly. As long as tomorrow is always better than today, Gu Lingqing comforted her. I'll try half a push-up first, Baya said. She looked at the stone table in the forest. Okay. Gu Lingqing held her hand and led her to the forest. Baya practiced push-ups while he practiced martial arts. Baya finished 30 push-ups. She sat on the chair and watched him practice. Just looking at him was enjoyable. When he punched out, she could see the leaves trembling even though they were 2 meters apart. No wonder back in America, he was quickly beaten to the ground when so many people ganged up on him. They practiced together for an hour. They were all sweaty and went back for breakfast. Song Shiyu had woken up a long time ago and had prepared breakfast. Shosho had also woken up and was playing with Che Che. Xiao Xia and Lin Shulan played with him. "Mom," Baya called softly. "Okay, you guys go take a shower first and come over for breakfast," Song Shiyu said lovingly. "Okay." Baya went back to her room to take a shower first. She only applied shampoo on her hair when the water stopped. "Ling Qing! Ling Qing!" Baya shouted. "Here." Gu Lingqing opened the door and came in. He looked at her and paused for a moment. She was not wearing any clothes. Her snow-white body was stained with water vapor. She was like a lotus flower coming out of the water, pink and tender. His breath tightened and the color of his eyes changed. Baya did not notice his strangeness. She turned on the faucet and said, "There's suddenly no water." Gu Lingqing came back to his senses. "That's impossible. We have our own electricity and water." A thought flashed through his mind, and he roughly knew the reason. Wait a moment. He went out and entered the electrical room. Sure enough, someone had turned off the electricity to the pump. He turned on the electricity, went out, locked the door, and looked for Song Shiyu. Song Shiyu was also playing with Shosho. "Mom. Come here," Gu Lingqing said. Confused, Song Shiyu followed Gu Lingqing out of the door. "I am Qin Tang Tang. My novel has been adapted into a radio drama. Please follow my WeChat account. Fairy Lake, then you can listen to it." Chapter 8:11. Xiaoya was taking a shower just now. "Xiao Xian turned off the water pump," Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. Song Shiyu paused and looked at Gu Lingqing in disbelief. He really did that? When Zhou Hailan was around, he had been trying to sow discord between Xiao Xian and Xiaoya. "Zhou Hailan framed me and killed my brothers. In order to save me, Xiaoya kidnapped Xiao Xian and forced Zhou Hailan to tell the truth. However, Zhou Hailan would rather abandon Xiao Xian than tell the truth to save me. Then how did you get out in the end? Didn't Zhou Hailan betray Xing Dongqing to save you?" Song Shiyu didn't know much about what happened that year. Zhou Hailan betrayed Xing Dongqing because Xiaoya went to Su Jiran. Everything Zhou Hailan did was to get Su Jiran's love. In the end, Zhou Hailan was sent to the mental hospital. However, Xiao Xian always remembered that Baya kidnapped him. So, he hated Baya to the core, Gu Lingqing explained. Song Shiyu understood. "So, what did you decide to do?" "Xiao Xian harmed Xiaoya again and again. Even if he didn't say it in front of us, he did it again in the blink of an eye. He can't stay by our side," Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. "But if we send him away, he will hate you even more. I will find someone to control him strictly. If he stays by your side, he will be more unscrupulous. I don't need him to be successful. I just want him to live a peaceful life. I will give him enough money to enrich his life. However, if he makes a mistake, I won't let it go," Gu Lingqing said firmly. Song Shiyu finally nodded. She could guarantee that Xiao Xian did it the first time for Baya. However, after one night, Xiao Xian harmed Baya for the second time. She didn't want to keep Xiao Xian anymore. Gu Lingqing found Xiaoxin, who was hiding in the library, and walked towards him. Xiao Xian stood trembling and looked at Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing squatted down in front of him. "Everyone has to take responsibility for their own mistakes. She was the one who kidnapped me. Why doesn't she have to take responsibility?" Xiaoxing said anxiously. "Did she hurt you?" "She didn't. If she really kidnapped you, why did she let you go? Kidnapping you was just a temporary measure. You don't understand now, but I hope you will understand when you grow up. Someone will take you away later, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Xiao Xian was worried. Dad, you don't want me anymore? If I don't want you, I won't care about you. I just hope that you will become an upright person and use your intelligence on the right things instead of harming others. In the future, the person who will take care of you will be an excellent soldier. He will teach you martial arts, strategy, and guide you to the correct outlook on life and values. I will call you every week. Gu Lingqing said as he stood up. Xiao Xian pursed his lips and clenched his fists. He could tell that Gu Lingqing had made up his mind. It was useless to beg. Don't regret it. Gu Lingqing looked at the anger in Xiao Xian's eyes and his eyes darkened. Don't do anything that you will regret. If you make a mistake, I won't let it go. Xiao Xian snorted coldly and walked out of the room. Baya came out of the shower and saw an angry Xiao Xian. She didn't like this child. She really didn't like him. She felt that he wasn't a child. He carried too much hatred and murderous intent. But he was still a child. Hence, she tried her best to forgive his pranks. Xiaoya, it's time for breakfast, Song Shiyu said gently. Okay, Baya replied. Then, she saw Xiao Xian go to the kitchen. Song Shiyu went to get some porridge. Baya followed her in, but she didn't see Xiao Xian. I made porridge with pork and century egg and your favorite egg pancake. You used to like my egg pancakes, Song Shiyu said with a smile. Song Shiyu rolled up the egg pancake and placed it on a plate. Mom, has Xiao Xian had breakfast? Baya asked. He has. He ate when you were jogging, Song Shiyu said. Baya smiled. She didn't take the bowl and went out. She went to look for Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing was about to take a shower. Lingqing, there's something I want to tell you, Baya said. Okay. What is it? Gu Lingqing took off his clothes and revealed his well-dressed upper body. She had seen it. When she looked at it again, she blushed unconsciously. She lowered her eyes and said, I saw Xiao Xian go to the kitchen just now. When I went to the kitchen, he was gone. Gu Lingqing heard something and put on his clothes again. You suspect that he did something to the breakfast? I'm not sure yet. But before he went into the kitchen, he looked at me with hatred. If he didn't do anything, why would he leave through the window? Baya guessed. Let's go downstairs and have a look, Gu Lingqing said with a serious expression. He went downstairs. This time, Gu Ruoxin had crossed his bottom line. He looked at the breakfast on the table and asked Song Shiyu, where's Xiao Xian? Song Shiyu looked around and said in confusion, he was here just now. Gu Lingqing went out and saw Gu Ruoxin by the lake. He walked towards Gu Ruoxin. When Gu Ruoxin saw Gu Lingqing coming, he broke into a run. Gu Lingqing made a call. Catch Gu Ruoxin. Soon, Gu Ruoxin was caught by an Ing who was hiding and sent to the villa. Song Shiyu looked at Gu Lingqing in surprise. What's wrong? Gu Lingqing looked at Gu Ruoxin. Eat the breakfast on the table. I'm not eating. I've already eaten, Gu Ruoxin said with his eyes wide open. I know you've eaten. Eat it, Gu Lingqing ordered. Gu Lingqing, are you trying to kill me? You must have poisoned the breakfast. You want to poison me, right? Gu Ruoxin said angrily. Gu Lingqing stood up angrily. If I want to kill you, I can do it in a second. There's no need for such a complicated poison. You know who did it. Song Shiyu was stunned. He looked at Baya. What do you mean? Ask him, Gu Lingqing said. He looked at Gu Ruoxin fiercely. Since you dare to do it, why don't you dare to admit it? Don't you think that you're doing the right thing? If you don't even have the courage to admit it, how can you be righteous? Fine, I'll say it. I'm the one who put the rat poison. All of you deserve to die, Gu Ruoxin said confidently. Song Shiyu slapped Gu Ruoxin's face. Gu Ruoxin looked at Song Shiyu in surprise. Grandma. I'm not your grandma. I don't have a grandson like you. You already know how to kill people at such a young age. You'll be even worse when you grow up. If it wasn't for Baya, he would have really died after taking the rat poison, Song Shiyu said anxiously. Chapter 8:12. How have they wronged you? Song Shiyu was terrified. You're too scary. You're like a demon. No one has let you down, but you've let others down many times. Gu Ruoxin pursed his lips, his eyes filled with arrogance. If you want to kill me, then do it. You've been wanting to kill me for a long time. If I want to kill you, I can do it in a second. The mistakes you have made are enough to put you in prison for 10 years, Gu Lingqing said sternly. It's just 10 years. After 10 years, I will only be 19 years old. What's there to be afraid of? Gu Ruoxin said indifferently. You're rebelling. How could the Gu family have a child like you? Song Shiyu couldn't stay calm either. Yen Nuo, send him to Qinzhong. Without my order, don't let him leave the island, Gu Lingqing ordered. Yes. Yen Nuo nodded and left with Gu Ruoxin. Song Shiyu sat on the chair weakly, still looking at Gu Ruoxin's back in disbelief. How can this child be like this? He's just a child, how can he be so bad? There are kids like this in every school. They don't listen to the teachers, and they have no discipline. They are mischievous and do bad things to get attention from others. Xiao Xia sighed. It's the influence of the environment. Xiao Xian's obsession is too deep. Her resentment is too strong. She can't change it. That's all we can do, Baya said helplessly. After all, she was not a god. She was just a psychologist. Some people's mental illness could not be cured because they themselves did not think that it was wrong. Therefore, there was nothing she could do. Xiao Xian is gone. Can you stay? Song Shiyu asked hopefully. Baya looked at Gu Lingqing. Mom, if it's convenient, why don't you come live with us in the military? Gu Lingqing invited. Okay, Song Shiyu agreed immediately. At her age, she had already seen through money and power. All she wanted was a family reunion and to be together happily. Song Shiyu was worried that the rice at home had been poisoned, so she threw it all away. It was useless. She covered all the furniture in the house with white blankets. Baya and Gu Lingqing helped together. After living here for 3 years, Song Shiyu was still a little reluctant to leave. We will come back often for vacation, Baya comforted. Song Shiyu smiled. As long as I'm with you, I'll be happy wherever I go. I'm most afraid that you'll leave me behind. I'm sorry, Mom, Baya apologized. Song Shiyu held Baya's hand and patted it. I know that you've thought about every decision you make. I can still fight for the company for another 10 years. After 10 years, you have to think of a way to take over my position. Baya looked at Gu Lingqing. She knew nothing about business. Song Shiyu was indeed getting older, and it was time for him to enjoy life. I'll arrange it when the time comes, Gu Lingqing promised. Go and have breakfast now. We've already eaten. Leave this place to us. When are you going to the military base? Is there a plane coming to pick you up? Song Shiyu asked. Gu Lingqing nodded. The plane will arrive at 11 a.m. Xiaoya and I will go and have breakfast first. Go ahead, Song Shiyu said with a smile. In the car Gu Lingqing drove while Baya rested on the chair. Where will you send Xiao Xian? Baya asked casually. I'll train him strictly and correct his outlook on life and values. I hope that he can become a useful person, Gu Lingqing said seriously. I heard that my eldest son is living with his adoptive parents. Can we bring them to the military base? Baya asked softly. It's fine if they live in the compound, but there are many restrictions in the military base. It's not convenient for children to study. Do you still remember what we discussed? We can find an empty plot of land near the military base and apply for it as a place for the families of soldiers to live. We can also build a factory nearby to solve the employment problem for the families. We can also open a hospital and a school. We can prepare all the basic facilities for the people. That way, the soldiers can go home more often. Gu Lingqing thought for a while. We can try it first. When I go back, I'll get someone to look for a plot of land and apply for it. Okay, Bai Ye replied and looked outside. Every city was more or less the same. The houses, streets, shops, pedestrians. The difference was that every city had its own culture and food. When you go to a place, you have to eat the local food and visit places with historical allusions. It became a tour. Actually, she liked the sea, liked eating seafood, and liked the cool wind. But for her lover, she could give up many things. Gu Lingqing's car stopped. The crab roe dumplings here are not bad. Are they really using crab roe? How can a crab have so much crab roe? Bai Ye said with a smile. I'll ask when the time comes. There's no need. I'll ask later. I don't care, Bai Ye said and walked into the restaurant. The staff at the entrance of the restaurant was washing the crabs. Someone sent the steamed red crabs into the kitchen. The entire restaurant was filled with people eating soup dumplings. There were also many people queuing at the window. It seems to be real crabs. The crabs are very plump in this season, Bai Ye said. Okay. Wait a moment. I'll get a private room, Gu Lingqing said and went to find the boss. After a while, he came out with a waiter. The waiter brought them to the attic on the second floor. There was an elegant wooden house on the attic on the second floor. In front of the wooden house were flowers and plants that he planted himself. Next to the house was a row of roses. Even though it was November, the flowers had withered. They were green and very beautiful. They blocked the view and the tall buildings. It was a different kind of scenery. Mr. Gu, what would you like to order? The waiter asked respectfully. 4 servings of crab roe dumplings. I want 6 servings to go, and 2 bowls of tofu soup, Gu Lingqing said. Mr. Gu, do you want crystal steamed dumplings? There are 6 flavors. It's the special breakfast of our restaurant, the waiter introduced. Then give me 2 servings. We can't finish all the food we ordered, Bai Ye reminded. Then 2 servings of crab roe dumplings and 2 servings of crystal steamed dumplings. I want 4 servings of soup dumplings and 2 bowls of steamed dumplings to go. Gu Lingqing changed his order. Do you still want the tofu soup? Yes. Okay. It'll be ready in 2 minutes. The waiter ordered and left. Bai Ye supported his chin with his fingers rhythmically tapping on the table. The table here should be for the owner's own use. Gu Lingqing answered. Is this restaurant owned by your friend? Bai Ye asked. Yeah, you know him too. Because of a mistake during a drill, he lost his leg. We went to visit him at his house. In the end, he divorced his wife and started raising crabs in his hometown. He's very experienced in raising crabs. He raises more than 10 acres of crabs in the suburbs. The crabs here are all supplied by him. He has a large share in it. He said that he can get more than 3 million yuan of net profit a year. In the process of starting his business, he also met a good girl and got married. Gu Lingqing said with relief and a smile. I am Qin Tang Tang. The novel has been made into a radio drama. Follow me on WeChat Fairy Lake, then you can listen to it. Chapter 8:13. Bai Ye couldn't remember any of this, but seeing Gu Lingqing smile, she was in a good mood. Life will give us torture, but it will also give us surprises, Bai Ye said with a smile. Gu Lingqing held Bai Ye's hand. To him, the surprise was that Bai Ye had returned to his side. Life was short. What more could he ask for? Soon, the waiter brought 2 baskets of crab roe buns, 2 baskets of crystal steamed dumplings, 2 bowls of tofu soup, a big pot of buckwheat tea, and a plate of sour vinegar. The waiters here are very attentive, Baya said. Try it. Gu Lingqing picked up a crystal steamed dumpling and put it on Baya's plate. Baya took a bite. It seems to be prawns, meat, and carrots. It's delicious. Gu Lingqing replied. The corner of his mouth lifted slightly. Baya propped her chin on her hand and looked at him. She had a feeling that her husband was so handsome. You can only smile at me in the future. Gu Lingqing put away his smile and answered in all seriousness, yes. Baya's heart was filled with warmth. No matter how cold the weather was, her body was still warm. After the meal, Gu Lingqing went to the front desk to pay for his order. Baya stood behind him. The front desk took the money from Gu Lingqing and the boss brought 2 bamboo boxes over. Mr. Gu, our boss asked me to give these to you. You're welcome. I'll go to his place next time, Gu Lingqing rejected politely. Mr. Gu, if you don't take it, our boss will fire me. This is the task he gave me. Gu Lingqing really didn't want to accept it. Giving money would seem too unreasonable. Take it. Baya smiled. Gu Lingqing took the crab from the boss's hand. Thank him for me. Of course, of course. Gu Lingqing returned to the car, and Baya floated towards him. He was deep in thought. It's a token of his sincerity. I can see that he makes delicious soup dumplings. If you want to help him, you can give him a store for free when the residential area near the military area is built, and let him sell soup dumplings there, Baya comforted him. Xiaoya, we didn't have a proper wedding banquet before. I want to choose a good day to hold the wedding, Gu Lingqing said. So that was what he was thinking about. Baya was quite touched. This year, or the beginning of next year. Recently, I want to settle Shaniyan's matter first. Gu Lingqing, you will help me, right? Baya asked softly. Yes. Gu Lingqing answered simply. As long as Gu Lingqing was willing to help her, she was confident. I will stand by your side firmly. Gu Lingqing nodded. They went back to the manor. It was past 10 o'clock. Song Shiyu had tidied up everything in the house. He sat on the sofa and played with Shosho. Shosho was playing with his car. Hearing the sound of the car outside, he stood up and said to Song Shiyu with a confused look, Dad. Song Shiyu was amused by Shosho's look. He turned around and saw Gu Lingqing and Baya coming in with food in their hands. Aren't you going to the military area today? Song Shiyu asked curiously. Yes, I've bought soup dumplings. You can all come and eat them. And this crab is a gift from my former comrade, Gu Lingqing said. How about I cook the crab? We can have lunch at home and go to the military area after lunch, Song Shiyu suggested. I have a separate villa in the military area. There's everything in the kitchen. We can cook the same thing there. When are you going to the company? Gu Lingqing asked. I've left everything to the CEO. I don't have any new investment projects now. I'll have a video conference in the afternoon and evening. Okay. Let me know when you need to go out. Gu Lingqing said and put the food on the table. Baya took the disposable chopsticks and carried the baby chair to the table. She said to Shosho gently, Shosho, time to eat soup dumplings. Shosho ran over immediately. Baya carried him to the baby chair. Madam, I'll feed Shosho, Xia said with a smile. You eat too. The steamed dumplings are nice. They have different flavors in 6th high school. Baya said with a smile. She opened a box and picked up a dumpling. She put the lid on it so that the soup wouldn't spill. Shosho took a bite and made a happy sound. He smiled sweetly. He was so cute that Baya's heart melted. How could she bear to give up such a cute baby Xiao Bao? Even she felt it was unbelievable. Baya took a bite of Shosho. She wouldn't get tired of looking at his cute face for a whole day. Shosho ate more happily. He hummed a song while eating. Mommy, mommy, mommy is the best in the world. A child with a mommy is a treasure. Baya was amused by Shosho. Grandma is not good. Song Shiyu was jealous. Shosho immediately added, Grandma, Auntie Xia, Auntie Lanlan, and Daddy are good too. Baya realized that Lin Shulan was a little distracted. When she mentioned her name, she came back to her senses and smiled. Before they finished eating, the plane arrived. Bring the leftovers on the plane, Song Shiyu said. She didn't want to waste Gu Lingqing's time. The group of people packed up their luggage. Gu Lingqing sent a small plane that could carry 25 people. It took them less than half an hour to reach the military base. It stopped at the airport. 2 cars came to pick them up. Baya looked out of the window. Her heart suddenly beat fast. A scene flashed through her mind. The bullet went through the back of Gu Lingqing's head. At the same time, she felt as if her heart had died. Gu Lingqing, the shooting happened in the military base? Baya asked absent-mindedly. Yes, it was Zhuochuni's men. Now that Zhuochuni has been brought to justice, it won't happen again, Gu Lingqing said calmly. What about your men? Can they all come to the side yard to protect you? Baya asked with lingering fear. Gu Lingqing smiled. Even if he couldn't protect him, he had to protect his lovers. They're already here. Now that Hua is not the president, my crisis has been resolved. Yes. Baya took a deep breath. She leaned back on the chair and lay comfortably. In the sky, the roar of the plane sounded. She looked up. It should be Buhua. I asked him to come to the military base, Gu Lingqing explained. Yes, Baya answered. She was calm. What was not calm was that she saw Xing Buhua's face. Someone had told her before that Gu Lingqing looked very similar to the president. How similar were they? Their height was the same, their faces were the same, and their figures were about the same. If he had to point out something that was different, it would probably be his temperament. Xing Buhua walked to her, looked at her deeply, and said softly, You're back. I am Qin Tang Tang. The novel has been made into a radio drama. Follow me on WeChat Fairy Lake, then you can listen to it. Chapter 8:14. Xing Buhua and Gu Lingqing looked too much alike. Baya was in a trance and looked at Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing held Baya's hand and answered Xing Buhua, I'm back. Xing Buhua smiled, and the heroic look in his eyes did not diminish. Congratulations, the clouds have parted to see the moon. You too, Gu Lingqing said in an official tone. Xing Buhua's eyes dimmed, and his gaze fell on Baya's face. If I had listened to you, maybe the ending would have been different. Baya did not understand what he was talking about. Didn't Gu Lingqing say that he listened to her and married Muwan? There is no second chance in life. Since you have chosen the life you have now, you should not regret it, because there is no medicine for regret. You should live every day to the fullest. Baya advised. Xing Buhua smiled bitterly and did not continue the conversation with Baya. He looked at Gu Lingqing and said, I have something to discuss with you. Come to the study. Gu Lingqing said. Song Shiyu looked at Xing Buhua with a smile and said, Are you having lunch here? Xing Buhua nodded slightly, but did not look friendly. Song Shiyu did not care. She went to the kitchen and continued to wash the crabs. Baya followed her into the kitchen and opened the fridge. There were many ingredients in the fridge. Mom, what are you going to cook for lunch? Song Shiyu put the washed crabs into the pot, covered the pot, and walked to the fridge. 1 tomato scrambled eggs, Shosho's favorite, 1 winter melon and pork rib soup, 1 mushroom braised chicken, and 1 pickled cabbage shredded pork. Is that okay? We still have 20 crabs. I can hear the size of the crabs, and each one is worth 5 or 6 taels. That's enough. I'll help cook, said Baya. I can do it alone. You go and accompany Shosho. Cooking for you guys is also my wish. Song Shiyu said with a smile. Since she had already said so, Baya couldn't insist. Thank you, Mom. She went out and saw that Xiao Xia was accompanying Shosho while Lin Shulan was sitting there in a daze. Are you still thinking about Zhang Xingyu? Baya sat beside her and asked. Lin Shulan came back to his senses. I also want to forget him. Godmother introduced a few people to me, but I don't get along with them. I don't know what to do now. The fact that you still have feelings for him means that he hasn't hurt you enough. You haven't reached the point of despair yet. You still have that 1% of hope for him. When it comes to relationships, if you don't resolve it quickly, you'll end up dragging things out and causing trouble for yourself. Either you confess to him and get together with him, or you'll be rejected and give up completely, suggested Baya. Lin Shulan shook his head. He won't agree to it. Then why are you still daydreaming about him? You say that he won't agree to it, but that's just your cowardice. In reality, you still have hope for him. That's even worse. You've already walked into the evil that you've created, Baya said cruelly. I just want to accompany Godmother. I'm not interested in the matters between men and women. I'll just take it one step at a time, Lin Shulan said with his head lowered. Then don't let yourself daydream and let your imagination run wild. Don't let him affect all your emotions. Also, Zhang Xingyu isn't young anymore. He's been with Gu Lingqing for so many years. Now that Gu Lingqing's career has stabilized, it's time to find a marriage for Zhang Xingyu. I'll arrange a blind date for him. Do you need to give him a chance? Lin Shulan looked at Baya in surprise and mumbled, Madam wants to arrange a blind date for Zhang Xingyu? We have to be prepared for it. We have to let the people who follow us be happy, Baya said calmly. Lin Shulan's eyes turned red and he lowered his head. She couldn't refute Baya's decision and didn't dare to say a word. Baya looked at her. It's useless for you to feel sorry for yourself. You'll only burden others and make them worry. You can either give up decisively and search for your happiness. I'll arrange a blind date for you, or you can try your best to fight for it. You're not Lin Daiyu and the person you love isn't Jia Baoyu. Don't copy her song of the burial of flowers. What if Zhang Xingyu still doesn't like me? Lin Shulan asked worriedly. You're not worried that he won't like you. You're worried that your pitiful pride will embarrass you. It's not because you're not good, it's because you're not fated with him. Do you understand? Don't be afraid of embarrassing yourself just because you feel inferior, Baya said. Before she was disfigured, she didn't feel so inferior. But after she was secretly rejected by Zhang Xingyu, she felt especially inferior. I'm still alone. Lin Shulan said with her head lowered. Baya had a feeling of exasperation and said, all right, the Gu family will always treat you as family anyway. I'll go see Shosho. Baya stood up and went to Shosho. Mommy will take you out for a walk, okay? Let's go, let's go, let's go. Shosho opened his arms for Baya to carry him. Baya carried Shosho and walked out of the door. The children's courtyard outside the door was a very big yard. After she arrived, she directly followed Gu Lingqing into the room and then the president came. She didn't have a good look at the yard. Beside the walls of the courtyard were Boston creepers. They had been planted for a long time and covered the entire wall. Inside the courtyard, there was a small forest at the side of the house. It wasn't big but there were quite a few fruit trees. There were tomato trees, loquat trees, bayberry trees, apricot trees, apple trees, and orange trees. These trees had been planted for a long time. The trunks were very thick and the trees were also very tall. Now there were no loquats and bayberries. The oranges were growing very well, especially the tomatoes, which were very red. Because they hadn't been picked, they had already fallen to the ground and not many were left. Tomatoes and crabs couldn't be eaten together, so she didn't pick them. After going around the small forest and to the back of the house, there was still a high wall, but there was a very big empty space. There was a distance of 20 meters between the wall and the house. With such a big distance, it was enough to make a small children's playground. She could dig a small pond at the side to raise fish, plant some flowers, and then bring Xiao Bai back. She could marry Xiao Bai and give birth to a lot of little Bai. Shosho, how about mommy making a playground for you here? Baiya asked Shosho. Shosho pointed at the window upstairs and opened his little mouth. Daddy. Baiya followed Shosho's gaze and looked upstairs. Xing Buhua smiled politely at Baiya and nodded. He's not father, he's uncle. Call him uncle. Baiya corrected her. Uncle. Guard 1 corrected him with a dumbfounded expression. Hearing Baiya's voice, Gu Lingqing also walked to the window. When Shosho saw the two fathers, he was stunned for a moment. He looked at Gu Lingqing and then at Xing Buhua. He pointed at Xing Buhua and shouted, Dad. Xing Buhua was amused by her cuteness. He smiled and his eyes were full of tenderness. She can still tell us apart at a glance. No, Hua, don't have any ideas about her, Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. I am Qin Tang Tang, the novel has been made into a radio drama, follow me on WeChat Fairy Lake then you can listen to it. Chapter 8:15. If I wanted to hit on her, I would have done it when you weren't around. Don't worry, she's yours. I don't have the kind of feelings you think I have for her. Even if I do, it's because of your influence. Now that you're back, I have nothing to do with it anymore, Xing Buhua said in a low voice. He looked at Baiya who was downstairs. Over the past year, he had dreamed of her several times. They were all when Gu Lingqing separated from her. When Gu Lingqing dreamed of her, he also dreamed of her. However, this time, he treated himself as a bystander, because he clearly knew that it was because Gu Lingqing dreamed of her. The connection between twins was very strange. It was easy to lose one's heart. Fortunately, he returned. Thank you, Baiya. She never gave him a chance. I'm planning to hold a wedding for her this year. Due to various reasons, it didn't happen before. I also want to give her a gift that she wants, Gu Lingqing said while looking at Baiya. Xing Buhua looked at Gu Lingqing with a deep gaze. It's about Sheniyan. Yes. Gu Lingqing replied and said coolly, I came back to be the chief of the military region and help you stabilize all the military regions. What I want is Sheniyan's freedom. But the people's hearts are not stable now. Just one cold sail and they're eyeing him covetously. He's like Zhuo Chuani in the past, sitting firmly in the position of deputy commander. His relationships in the dark are complicated. There's also Chu Yubing. He's a new force cultivated by the Shen family. Although Shen Yian has fallen, the power of the Shen family is still there, Xing Buhua said worriedly. No, Buhua. You and I are born from the same root. Fortune and disaster depend on each other. I'll do my best to help you stabilize your position. If you die, Xiaoya and I will die with you. I won't let that happen, Gu Lingqing promised. But you can't control what happens next. If I go back on my word because of fear, then I will only be a vile person in the future. A gentleman is magnanimous. Even if I die, I will have a clear conscience. I will have a clear conscience. I would rather live a noble life than live a cowardly life. There are things a king can do, but there are things a king cannot do. Gu Lingqing advised. Have you heard about King Wu's Fuchai and King Yu's Gojian? Letting Gojian go wasn't a problem at first, but letting Gojian and myself do what they want is the biggest problem. In country A, the winner is the king and the loser is the bandit. If Gojian didn't defeat Fuchai, history would have re-evaluated him. Gojian was such a sinister person, while Fuchai was such a righteous person. Gojian is a good person. Xing Buhua looked at Gu Lingqing and smiled. Gojian. Gu. Go of your strength. T. At least, I care. Teet. Didn't you think about Xiaoya when you made this decision? Letting Shen Yian go will be a hidden danger, Xing Buhua said. This is what Xiaoya wants. She'll bear the consequences. Xing Buhua smiled. You two are a match made in heaven. One of you can do anything for a friend, while the other can do the same for a woman. All right, I'll let him go. Gu Lingqing looked at Xing Buhua gratefully. Actually, Xing Buhua was the same type of person as them. He could do anything for his brother. He patted Xing Buhua's shoulder. Have lunch here before you go back. I'll try my best to coordinate this matter. Do you have enough money? Xing Buhua asked worriedly. I can sell some properties overseas. Money won't be a problem. Besides, I have a few game projects on hand. I have a few $100 million in my account every month. Don't worry, Gu Lingqing said with certainty. Let's have a family gathering some other day. I'll ask Muwan. Since you've married her, treat her well, Gu Lingqing reminded. Falling flowers yearn for love, but heartless water flows. In the end, an east wind blows a field of begonias. Empty sorrow. What do you mean by that? She has someone she likes, Xing Buhua said with a smile. When I fell in love with Xiaoya, she also had someone she liked. It was just that Su Jiren didn't cherish him, so she fulfilled my wish. I'm grateful to myself for persevering. That's why I'm here with Xiaoya now, Gu Lingqing said meaningfully. He patted Xing Buhua's shoulder again as encouragement. They went downstairs together. When Gu Lingqing saw that Baya wasn't around, he went outside to look for her. Baya found 2 ropes and tied them to the branches. She placed a small quilt between the ropes and made a simple swing. She placed Shosho inside and pushed him gently. Shosho was very happy. He sat comfortably in the middle of the quilt and swayed. He was smiling so much that he couldn't close his mouth. Gu Lingqing walked to Baya's side. I'll get someone to prepare 2 swings here later. I also want to put a playground in the backyard, as well as flowers and plants. Anyway, I see that there's space there. You can leave this matter to me, Baya said. She didn't want him to worry about such a small matter. Let me tell you a piece of good news. Buhua has agreed to let Shinian go, Gu Lingqing said. Baya paused and looked at him in surprise. Is what you said true? Yes, he agreed. But before Shinian is released, I need to meet him, Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. Yes, that's great. When will he be released? Baya asked happily. I don't know yet. He agreed to let him go. Maybe in 2 days. After all, he needs to plan before he is released. Then I'll tell this good news to Lu Shuang tonight. Gu Lingqing nodded. Lin Shulan came out to look for Baya and Gu Lingqing. He said respectfully, Chief, Madam, old Madam wants you to go back to eat crabs. She said the crabs are cooked. Okay. Baya carried Shosho out. Time to eat crabs. Crabs are cold. It's better for children not to eat them, Gu Lingqing reminded. Chief, Madam, you go and eat first. The meal is not ready yet. I'll bring Shosho here, Lin Shulan said. Gu Lingqing and Baya looked at each other. After all, they still had to accompany Xing Buhua. It was not convenient to bring Shosho along. Thank you, Baya said and handed Shosho to Lin Shulan. Lin Shulan continued to play outside with Shosho while Baya and Gu Lingqing went in. Xing Buhua was already sitting at the dining table. He was texting on his phone. In front of him were 4 large plates of crabs. There were a total of 20 crabs and the dipping sauce prepared by Song Shiyu. You're back. Xing Buhua said with a smile and put his phone on the table. The crab is really big. This is the first time I've eaten such a big crab this year. Gu Lingqing held Baya's hand and walked over. This crab was a gift from my former comrade. Baya took a crab and placed it in her hands. It was a little hot, so she placed it on the plate and used a pair of scissors to remove the crab's legs. When she was in the United States, she had eaten king crab more often. The meat of the crab was more tender. Is it good? Gu Lingqing asked, putting the peeled meat on her plate. I am Qin Tang Tang. The novel has been made into a radio drama. Follow me on WeChat Fairy Lake, then you can listen to it. Chapter 8:16. Baya nodded. It's delicious. It's totally different from the emperor crab. You can eat it yourself and taste it yourself. It's even better. Xing Buhua looked at their interaction and smiled. Are you guys still going to the deserted island? It's a good time to go now. Let's finish what you said and take a few days off. We'll bring Mom, Shosho, and the rest on vacation, Gu Lingqing said. Don't you want to invite me? Xing Buhua asked disappointedly. You've been so busy lately. Even if I invite you, you won't have time. Didn't you say that you're going to Country M with your wife? Gu Lingqing asked. Xing Buhua's eyes flashed. Do you have wine? The crab should be accompanied with white wine. One hot and one cold to neutralize the other. Don't you have to go to work in the afternoon? You're the president now. Everything you say and do is being scrutinized, Gu Lingqing reminded him. I haven't had any rest since I became the president. Today is a gathering with my family. I can rest for half a day, Xing Buhua said sadly. That position seems high and mighty. It's the pinnacle of power, but it's also the pinnacle of pressure. There are gains and losses. If you experience it, your name will go down in history. I'll go get the wine, Gu Lingqing said. She stood up and went to the basement to get the wine. Xing Buhua looked at Baya. If I say that I regret my decision, will there be any medicine for regret? Baya had forgotten most of the past. She didn't remember Zhang Xingyu, Gu Lingqing, or Xing Buhua. She didn't even remember what she said to Xing Buhua. There's no medicine for regret in this world. If you want to turn back and let go of your obsession, it's possible. However, you can't let go of it anymore, right? Baya said gently. The days I miss the most are the days when I was doing missions. I have ambitions. I want to be the president and avenge my parents, Xing Buhua sighed. You should avenge your parents now and become the president, Baya said. Yes, but my heart is empty. It's not difficult to be the president. I just used a plan and I reached the peak. But it's hard to keep this position. I'm afraid that if I make the slightest mistake, I'll end up like Shinian, imprisoned for 2 years, or even longer. Because you're the president, you can't be an ordinary person. You need to be more strict with yourself and regulate your actions. Even if it's a decision, you have to think twice before you act. The greater the power, the greater the responsibility. God is fair to everyone, Baya sighed. I understand now why Lingqing gave up the position of the president. He knew what he wanted and what the future would be like. He didn't want to pursue higher things. He wanted to be content. That's why you managed to protect yourself in the end. Xing Buhua looked at Baya deeply. That's because I have you as my support. That's why I'm living a happy life now. We're a family. That's why Xiaoya and I will help you. Gu Lingqing came out with a bottle of white wine. Baya went into the kitchen and took out 3 small cups. Song Shiyu was still cooking. Mom, come and eat. There are so many crabs. I'm full after eating them. You guys go eat first. I'll be back soon, Song Shiyu said with a smile. When she was young, she didn't like to be in the kitchen. She was afraid of cooking. At her age, her son wasn't by her side. She was satisfied to be able to cook for her son. Baya didn't force her. She took the cups and went out. Gu Lingqing opened the bottle and poured 3 cups of wine. Xing Buhua raised his cup. This cup is for you and Baya to grow old together. May you live a peaceful, healthy and happy life. Gu Lingqing raised his cup and clinked it with Xing Buhua. Baya followed Gu Lingqing and clinked their cups with Xing Buhua. You too. May you live a peaceful and healthy life, Gu Lingqing said and drank it in one gulp. He filled up Xing Buhua's cup again. For the second cup, I hope that you and Baya will be together forever and have a few babies. It's a waste not to have more babies with such good genes, Xing Buhua said jokingly and drank the wine in one gulp. Baya realized that although Xing Buhua and Gu Lingqing looked exactly the same, their personalities were completely different. Xing Buhua was talkative and liked to laugh. He was always smiling. Even if he was sad, he would still smile. Gu Lingqing was a man of few words. He didn't like to laugh. He always kept a straight face. Even if he encountered something funny, he would only smile slightly. Let's eat the crab first. Don't drink so much wine directly. It's not good for your stomach. I'll go check if there are any peanuts in the fridge, Baya said. She got up and went to the fridge to see if there were any dishes to go with the wine. Xing Buhua's smile widened. It feels good to have a beloved woman nagging beside my ear. No, Hua. Are things not going well between you and Muwan? Gu Lingqing guessed. I have a strange feeling about her. Let's not talk about her. Let's talk about this crab. It looks really good. Xing Buhua changed the topic. If you like it, I'll buy some fresh ones from my comrade tomorrow and send them to you. Don't. This crab is only interesting when there are many people. If I eat it alone, I don't think it tastes good. If I want to eat it again next time, I'll come here again. It's convenient to fly anyway. Xing Buhua said and drank a cup of wine. Baya really found some peanuts in the fridge. She poured them into a bowl, added some sour vinegar and sugar, and served it. Baya, you believe in fortune tellers, don't you? Tell me, Lingqing and I look the same and are born the same. Why are our destinies so different? It's so far apart. Xing Buhua asked with a smile. Your names are different. Names can also affect destinies. So many people will look for fortune tellers when they want to name their children. I know a very famous fortune teller. I have his WeChat and mobile number. Why don't you ask him if he wants to tell your fortune for you? Baya also joked. Yes. You can contact him now and ask him. If his fortune is accurate, I'll have to give him the title of National Advisor. Baya paused. Are you serious? Of course I'm joking. But I'm telling you to ask him. It's true. Xing Buhua corrected her. Baya also wanted to contact the fortune teller since she was back in China. After all, they got along well and were like-minded. She called the fortune teller. The call was answered. Baya, I wanted to call you too and you called me. What a coincidence, Grandmaster Gufa said with a smile. Yes, where are you now? Baya asked. I've renounced asceticism today and rented a house. I'm going to look for a job tomorrow. Baya was stunned and asked in surprise, You've returned to the secular world? I am Qin Tang Tang. The novel has been made into a radio drama. Follow me on WeChat Fairy Lake then you can listen to it. Chapter 8:17. I think you're right. I've been in the temple since I was young. I only have a set of theories. If I haven't experienced great joy, sorrow, love, and death, I won't be considered enlightened. So, I'm going to walk around the human world and experience what I should before I become a monk, Master Gu Fa said. Perhaps, after you've experienced all that, you won't want to become a monk anymore because you have too many attachments and memories. Have you found a job? Baya asked with concern. Not yet. It's not easy to find a job with my resume. I can't possibly say that I was a monk before, right? Gu Fa smiled and said calmly. After all, his current state of mind couldn't even compare to hers. Who knew what would happen in the future? I have a suggestion. When people pass away, they hire monks and Taoists to perform the rite. This is different from you. They do it commercially. I don't charge for it. Once I charge for it, the meaning will change. I don't want to do anything related to my current profession. I want to be a waiter, a driver, or a salesperson. These are the most basic things in life, to understand the world. Do you need me to introduce you to someone? Gu Fa smiled. No need. I'm calling you to tell you that I've temporarily renounced asceticism. You won't be able to find me at the temple. I'll find a job myself. Look for me if you have any difficulties. Alright. I'll hang up first. Baya kept her phone and looked at Xing Buhua. I'm sorry, Master Gu Fa has renounced asceticism. Xing Buhua smiled. Heaven's will. Looks like I'll have to rely on myself in the future. He's renounced asceticism. Do you still want to keep in touch with him? Gu Lingqing asked in a strange tone. Baya was taken aback and looked at Gu Lingqing. He acted as though he hadn't said anything and took a sip of wine calmly. Xing Buhua's smile became even brighter. He looked at Gu Lingqing and said, Are you the king of vinegar? You're jealous of this? If I'm jealous of this, wouldn't I die of anger every day? Gu Lingqing's expression became even weirder. He didn't say anything and poured himself another glass. Baya put her hand on his leg. Gu Lingqing was startled and looked at her. Baya smiled. Her eyes were sparkling and filled with emotions. Such gentleness was enough to melt steel. Gu Lingqing's complexion improved. She held Ji Yunshu's hand tightly and let go. I'm so envious. The only way to relieve my worries is to drink. He. Xing Buhua smiled and clinked glasses with Gu Lingqing. Kid, you're not allowed to leave without saying goodbye in the future. Don't make me and Baya worry. Gu Lingqing nodded. When are you going to release Shanian? Xing Buhua looked at Baya. After you see him, give me a psychological profile of him. I think it's foolproof. Why don't our family be imprisoned in the future? Baya understood what Xing Buhua meant and his worries. I'll go with you today. I'll give you a reply after I see him. Okay. They chatted while eating. The atmosphere was good. Song Shiyu prepared the dishes very quickly. Xiao Xia went to call Lin Shulan back for dinner. When Xing Buhua saw Shosho, his expression became especially gentle. He said to Shosho, call me uncle, uncle. Shosho stared at Xing Buhua's face. Dad. Xing Buhua smiled. I'm uncle, not dad. Call me uncle. Although Xing Buhua said that, he was overjoyed to hear Shosho call him dad. When Shosho was still in the womb, he kept him company and talked a lot with the little guy. He really wanted to treat Shosho as his own child. Shosho looked at Xing Buhua, then looked at Gu Lingqing. Two dads. Song Shiyu laughed. Don't make things difficult for Shosho. Shosho has always been with me. He's unfamiliar with Lingqing and Buhua. He can't tell which one is the dad. Lingqing, send Shosho to me and be my godson. I'm older than you. Your two children are already so big. I don't have any children yet, Xing Buhua said directly, acting coquettishly. Gu Lingqing looked at Baya. Baya nodded in agreement. She could tell that Xing Buhua really liked Shosho. It wasn't a bad thing for Shosho to have a president as his godfather. Okay. You two silly children need a simple ceremony. Buhua, you have to give him a longevity lock. As for Shosho, you have to give Buhua a cup of tea and call him godfather. Then, the ceremony will be done, Song Shiyu said. I don't have a longevity lock now. Let's make it clear. Next time, count it as an auspicious day. I'll get someone to check it when I get back and then call you, Xing Buhua said happily, his eyes fixed on Shosho's face. Shosho was very good looking. He had the good points of Baya and Gu Lingqing. His eyes were big and round and his face was pink. The more one looked at him, the cuter he was. If you like children, let one have one too, Song Shiyu said. Xing Buhua's face darkened and a trace of sadness flashed across his eyes. Let's talk about it later. There are still many things waiting for me to do now. It doesn't affect you making babies. Don't you even have time to make babies? Song Shiyu scolded. Mom, I think the dishes you cook are very delicious. I want to learn from you next time. When you are busy in the future, I can cook for Ling Qing. Baiya deliberately changed the topic so that Xing Buhua wouldn't be embarrassed. The dishes you cook are obviously better than mine. Xiaoya, why don't you follow me to do business? With your intelligence, you will definitely be able to get started quickly and do a good job. Actually, the Gu Corporation is already on the right track. New projects are also always on the way. We have professional venture capital, so you don't have to worry too much. Song Shiyu encouraged. Well, Baiya paused. I majored in medicine and have also studied psychology for many years. Psychology is my specialty. Chapter 8:18. In the afternoon, Xing Buhua slept for a while in the military base. After he woke up, he prepared to leave. Baiya followed Xing Buhua. Gu Lingqing couldn't bear to see her go. I'll go with you. He was making a statement. Baiya shook her head. You've just returned to the military base. There are many things waiting for you to handle there. I'll be back soon after meeting Shaniyan. Gu Lingqing remained silent and looked at her deeply. Baiya smiled. You're worried about me? Let Lin Shulan go with you. She used to work for Ning too, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Baiya nodded. Got it. She went out and got into the car. When they arrived at the airport, she boarded Xing Buhua's plane. His private plane was quite nice. It had a soundproof room that looked like a standard room. There was also a soundproof living room with a sofa, a coffee table, a television, and a stereo system. Do you want coffee? Xing Buhua asked. Baiya shook her head. Just a glass of plain water will do. If there's a lemon, put 2 slices in it. There should be. Xing Buhua opened the fridge and took out a whole lemon. Mr. President, let me do it, Lin Shulan went forward and said respectfully. Xing Buhua passed the lemon to Lin Shulan. He sat opposite Baiya and looked at Baiya meaningfully. You love him so much. I know that as long as he doesn't die, the two of you will definitely be together. From his tone, Baiya could tell that they were close. Once you let it go, you'll get it. The end is also a new beginning. Don't be afraid of the future. There will be many miracles in the future that we can't imagine. If I had cut the weeds and eliminated the roots back then, the current Chu Yubing would not be a match for me. I don't know if listening to you was wrong, but since I've already listened, I don't want to regret it. People have to look forward. Even if I die, at least I have a brother, right? Xing Buhua looked at her with a burning gaze. Baiya could vaguely feel that there was something flowing between them. This kind of substance didn't feel like love, nor did it feel like friendship. It felt more like his trust, expectation, and desire for someone to rely on. A wise leader doesn't rely on suppression but enlistment. In the history of China, there was an undefeated general called Bai Qi. He killed 400,000 soldiers of Zhao. These soldiers were here to surrender. He was worried that these people would become a threat. If he could use 400,000 soldiers, Qin would become the most powerful country in the world. But these 400,000 soldiers were forced to become prisoners of war. They didn't think about Qin. As long as Qin treats their wives, parents, and children well and gives them a good life, I don't know what the future will be like. With the killing intent of 400,000 soldiers, Bai Qi still didn't die a good death. What we do, we don't betray ourselves or the world. There are always more solutions than difficulties. The important thing is not the choice, but the foolproof after the choice. Fear can make people feel uneasy, but planning strategies can make people feel at ease. I can't plan strategies, and I can't be foolproof. Baiya, come back and help me. Xing Buhua invited. I know. I only know psychology. Your psychology is enough. You can see through people's hearts. For me, that's the greatest help. I'm afraid that I don't do it carefully. It doesn't matter if I die alone. I have no parents, no children, and even my wife is not mine. The only thing I have is my brother. But I will implicate you and Gu Lingqing. Baiya understood that Gu Lingqing was his brother. Even if the two of them were not connected, others had connected them. Moreover, they were indeed connected. I will help you. We are a family. If you need anything, I will be by your side. Baiya promised. Xing Buhua smiled. Thank you, Xiaoya. I have to thank you, big brother. You will definitely become a wise ruler. Because of your generosity, because of your sacrifice, because of your listening to others. Xing Buhua lowered his eyes. He was not as good as Baiya said, but he sincerely hoped that Baiya and Gu Lingqing could be happy. If Gu Lingqing was happy, he would feel happy too. Xing Buhua arranged for Baiya and Shiniyan to meet. So, the plane did not go directly to the President Palace. Instead, it went to the place where Shiniyan was imprisoned. She vaguely remembered Shiniyan's appearance. He was very good-looking, as charming as a devil. When he smiled, it was hard for people to ignore his smile. It also made people feel afraid. The memory in her mind was that Lu Shuang hated Shiniyan. Shen Yiyan used unconventional methods to keep Lu Shuang. They even had a child. She could not remember anything else. Under the lead of the soldiers, he saw the imprisoned Shiniyan. He was reading a book. There was a pot of tea, a table lamp, a white shirt, and a pair of coffee-colored slacks. The light fell on his handsome body. It was full of the scent of books. The feeling he gave off right now was completely different from the insufferably arrogant Gu Shijiu remembered him to be. Right now, he was calmer, more reserved, and more profound. Shen Yiyan noticed that someone was looking at him. He slowly looked towards the door. When he saw Baiya, he smiled. Long time no see. Baiya walked over and sat opposite him. Shen Yiyan poured her a cup of tea. Try it. How are you doing here? Baiya asked. It was a bad situation. I could only think of ways to live a better life. I expected this situation. Xing Buhua did not kill me. He was already being merciful, Shen Yiyan said with a faint smile. Chu Yubing is doing well now. He has become the new power of the Shen family, Baiya said deliberately. A long time ago, the Shen family deliberately cultivated him. After I fell from power, the Shen family must have placed all their hopes on him. Baiya picked up the cup and took a sip. The tea was good and fragrant. You fell from power. If Xing Buhua wanted to kill you, the Shen family would have been uprooted long ago. So, Xing Buhua nurtured a tiger. I am responsible for asking him not to touch the Shen family, including you. I am going to let you out tomorrow or the day after. Is it also because of you? Shen Yiyan asked meaningfully. Because of Xing Buhua. If he doesn't want to, no one can change his mind. Shen Yiyan, Lu Shuang likes you and is waiting for you to go back. It doesn't matter how ungrateful others are. As long as they cross the line and reveal their ambition, I will deal with them one by one. But you, I don't want you to become Buhua's opponent. Because if I let you go, Buhua will bear too much. Gu Lingqing and I will also bear too much. We have placed our trust in you, Baiya said earnestly. Shen Yiyan did not speak. She looked at Baiya quietly. I am Qin Tang Tang. The novel has been made into a radio drama. Follow me on WeChat Fairy Lake. Chapter 8:19. Baiya saw something in his eyes. Shen Yiyan, can you promise me that you'll never do anything to Buhua? Shen Yiyan lowered his head and took a sip of tea. He put down the cup and looked at Baiya. I promise you that I'll never be Xing Buhua's enemy in this lifetime. Baiya smiled. I'll tell Buhua. He'll be able to let you go soon after he makes the preparations. Thank you, Baya, Shen Yan said in a low voice. Lu Shuang is my best friend. She needs you, and so does your child, Baya said. He stood up and walked out of the door. Shen Yan closed the book. The light from the lamp reflected in his eyes, rising and falling. Baya went out and found Xing Buhua. Big brother, let him go. He promises that he'll never be your enemy in this lifetime, Baya said. Xing Buhua took a deep breath. Although he had doubts, he nodded. Baya understood Xing Buhua's worries. In the future, Ling Qing and I will walk with Big Brother. We'll share our ups and downs, honor and disgrace. Shen Yan was pulled down from his position because he imprisoned Nangong Yu and wanted to attack the Nangong family. I can't let him go openly. Nation will be unhappy if I do that. So, I'm going to fake his death, Xing Buhua said. He paused and looked at Baya. Okay, Baya answered. But I can't let him go myself. Otherwise, the fact that I let him go will be used against me in the future. It's best if the Shen family does it, Xing Buhua continued. The Shen family probably wouldn't do it. After all, they were very cautious now. You better not do it either, Xing Buhua reminded. I know. To some extent, I'm representing you. Shen Yan has an organization called Formless. How about we ask them to do it? Baya asked. They still exist. They're ready to go. It's not appropriate for you to go to them. They might betray you. I can ask Lu Shuang. Lu Shuang is Shen Yan's woman. She'll be more suitable. She just needs to convince Formless to do it. We'll set up a big fire here and make it look like Shen Yan died. But we have to make sure that no one is injured, Baya said. We need to plan this carefully. We need to make sure nothing goes wrong. I'll give you the map later. Take it back and discuss with Ling Qing about the specific operation plan. It's best if there are two plans A and B to prevent any accidents, Xing Buhua said solemnly. Baya nodded. I'll go to Country D tomorrow and contact Lu Shuang. I'll tell Shen Yan that he'll be released the day after tomorrow. I don't think he'll be able to make it in time. Tell him this. Okay, Xing Buhua answered. After he passed the map to Baya, he asked his subordinate to send Baya back to the military base. In just half an hour, Baya returned to the military base. It was already late. The street lights in the military base were turned on. They were brightly lit along the way, as if they were guiding her home. Whenever she thought of Gu Lingqing, her heart would feel warm. Soon, she arrived at the villa. Madam, you're back, Xiaoxia shouted. Shosho ran out of the room and passed the milk bottle to Baya. Mommy, drink, drink. Baya was charmed by Shosho's cuteness. She smiled. Shosho, drink. Mommy isn't hungry. She looked around and didn't see Gu Lingqing. Where's the chief? Chief is building Shosho's playground in the backyard. Lieutenant Colonel Zhang is there too, Xiaoxia said. Her face was slightly red. Lin Shulan looked down. Shulan, come with me. Let's see if you need help, Baya said. Lin Shulan replied with his head lowered. He followed behind Baya. When she walked into the forest beside the house, she heard banging sounds. In the forest, Gu Lingqing had set up a swing. Although it was still between two trees, he had set up an aluminum pillar to stabilize it. He was also careful and considerate to prevent the insects from falling from the trees. Baya smiled and continued to walk towards the backyard. Gu Lingqing had also set up a canopy in the backyard. The canopy was derived from the third floor. It was made of tempered glass and had an automatic sunshade. He had set up a small castle against the wall. The frame under the slide was filled with plastic balls. He had even placed a ball frame for children to play with. Next to the castle was a rocking chair. Gu Lingqing was installing a power supply. Zhang Xingyu had dug a pool next to the playground and was laying bricks. You've done so much in 2 hours. It feels like everything has changed. Baiya sighed. Gu Lingqing looked at her. There were other warriors who helped earlier, so it was fast. Shosho can play here in the future. It looks good. Even the fish pond is ready. It's better than my backyard in Seattle. Do you need help from Shulan? Baiya asked, rolling up her sleeves. The playground is almost ready. I've already installed the power supply. Zhang Xingyu can take his time to build the pond. There's no rush. There's no fish here anyway. What else do you need to do here? Gu Lingqing asked. Baiya looked at Gu Lingqing, touched. He had already prepared according to her wishes. Little Bai's nest doesn't seem to be ready. I still want to plant some flowers. I've already bought Little Bai's nest. I'm going to put it in the forest tomorrow. After that, I'll bring Little Bai over and will help him choose a wife tomorrow. We'll have to postpone helping him choose a wife. I'm going to look for Lu Shuang tomorrow, Baiya said apologetically. I'll go with you. Gu Lingqing was still worried. If you go, it'll be a different story if someone takes a picture of you. I'll go alone, Baiya said firmly. Then let Lin Shulan go with you. Baiya smiled. I'll be fine. If something happens, Shulan won't be able to stop him. Don't worry. Anyway, our relationship hasn't been made public yet. Even if it was, it'd be meaningless for them to catch me. I'll be gone for 2 to 3 days. I'll be back soon. Gu Lingqing remained silent. He didn't agree. There are some things that have to be resolved. Once it's resolved, I won't have any regrets. I'll just live a good life from now on, Baiya continued. You guys can chat online now. Video calls are fine too. You don't have to go first. Gu Lingqing thought of an idea. I don't have her contact details now. We've agreed that I'll look for someone when I get there. That person will bring me to her. So, we can't chat online. I won't go. Lin Shulan won't go. Let In Ying's people follow you. That way, I can rest assured. Otherwise, I won't be able to rest assured, Gu Lingqing said firmly. Baiya knew that he meant well, so she agreed. Let them follow us, but don't let anyone discover In Ying's whereabouts. I'm Qin Tang Tang. The novel has been adapted into a radio drama. Please follow me on WeChat. Fairy Lake. Chapter 820. Let's have dinner. Gu Lingqing picked up the tools on the ground and said to Zhang Xingyu, who was still working, let's have dinner together. All right. Zhang Xingyu put down the tools in his hands happily, turned on the tap and washed his hands. He smiled at Baiya, but he didn't see Lin Shulan. Baiya smiled and held Gu Lingqing's arm. He lowered his head to look at her, a warm and sweet feeling spreading from his heart. It was just a look and he felt that life was so beautiful. They entered the room and Song Shiyu had prepared dinner. Mommy, Mommy. Shosho ran over and passed the toy car to Baiya. Baiya's heart softened. She carried Shosho and kissed Shosho's soft face. Shosho likes cars? Che, take Mummy. After saying that, Shosho revealed a simple and honest smile. Song Shiyu heard it and walked to Shosho. He held Shosho's little Shosho. Are we bringing Grandma? Shosho pointed at Gu Lingqing. Daddy. He meant to bring Gu Lingqing. The corners of Gu Lingqing's mouth rose slightly. Shosho looked at Song Shiyu and was disappointed. He tapped Song Shiyu's nose. Grandma. Song Shiyu smiled. He held Shosho's hand and kissed it. Grandma has prepared dinner. It's time to eat. Xiao Xia came over. Madam, please feed young master. Thank you, Baiya replied. Xiao Xia carried Shosho and placed Shosho on the child's chair. She scooped some rice for Shosho and fed Shosho patiently. Zhang Xingyu's gaze landed on Xiao Xia. He smiled and blushed. After dinner, after taking a shower, Baiya was applying face cream. Gu Lingqing walked in. After glancing at her, she took her clothes and went to take a shower. Baiya lay on the bed, logged into the travel app, and checked the flights from A Nation to D Nation. In the end, she booked a flight ticket to D Nation at 11:53 a.m. tomorrow. Gu Lingqing came out of the washroom and looked at Baiya with burning eyes. Baiya noticed his gaze and placed his phone on the cabinet. He thought of something and asked Gu Lingqing, "How old is Zhang Xingyu this year?" 28, what's wrong? Gu Lingqing was confused. He should be at the age to get married and have children. I think he's interested in Xiao Xia, and Xiao Xia likes him too. It's not a bad idea to bring them together, Baiya said with a smile. Gu Lingqing sat beside her. When Zhang Xingyu gets married, I want to give him a villa. He's been with me since he was a teenager. How old is Lin Shulan? Baiya asked again. He should be younger than Zhang Xingyu. I'll have to look into it. Why? Do you want to introduce him to her too? Gu Lingqing hugged Baiya's waist. Her body smelled good and it smelled good. He moved closer and his breath landed on Baiya's neck. Baiya felt itchy. She pushed Gu Lingqing away and moved back. Gu Lingqing held her hand and said softly, "Don't push me away." His voice was too soft, but it had a strong penetrating power. It landed on her heart, and her abdomen was surging. Before she could think of how to reply, he kissed her on the lips. Gu Lingqing was strong, passionate, and could not be rejected. Soon, her body temperature was aroused by him, and her body was heating up. Gu Lingqing wanted to go in directly. Baiya said vaguely, "Lingqing, I'm not in my safe period." He answered. He lifted her waist and deepened the kiss. His love was like the spring rain, gentle and affectionate, falling on her body. Sometimes, it was like a storm, wild and raging. It played out one after another. In the end, he did not show his excitement. Baiya came back to her senses. Just as she was about to say something, Gu Lingqing held her cheek. "Xiaoya, let's get another girl." Baiya was slightly stunned. Gu Lingqing raised the corner of his mouth. Without saying anything, he kissed her on the lips. She liked children, and she had imagined having a house full of grandchildren. However, she and Gu Lingqing had just gotten together. She was not ready to have a child so soon. Moreover, Shosho still needed to be taken care of. If she was pregnant, she would have less time to take care of Shosho. In a daze, she fell asleep while thinking about all kinds of things. She was going to talk about Lin Shulan, but she was interrupted by a sudden rain and forgot to say it. The next day, she woke up naturally. It was 6:30, and Gu Lingqing was no longer there. After brushing her teeth and washing, she went out. Song Shiyu was busy in the kitchen. She did not disturb him. She went out of the courtyard and subconsciously walked to the back of the house. Zhang Xingyu was busy, and Gu Lingqing was not there. Zhang Xingyu noticed Baiya. He smiled and said, "Madam, are you looking for the chief?" The chief went to check on the soldiers' training. He will be back at 7:30. Since she saw Zhang Xingyu, she asked, "Xingyu, what do you think of Xiao Xia?" Zhang Xingyu was stunned. He blushed and scratched his head. Xiao Xia is very nice. She is very gentle and virtuous. She is also a doctor. I have seen her a few times at old Madam's place. I have a good impression of her. Do you need me to ask for Xiao Xia's opinion? Baiya asked. Madam, what do you mean? Zhang Xingyu's eyes flickered. You have to settle your marriage. You have been with Gu Lingqing, and Xiao Xia has been with me. If you like her, it will be a good thing. Xiao Xia is good at taking care of children. Baiya said meaningfully. Zhang Xingyu smiled shyly. I'm just afraid that she won't like me. Baya paused. What about Shulan? What do you think of her? Zhang Xingyu's smile froze. We used to be comrades, but now, I am a little afraid of her. In her eyes, I am a disloyal and despicable person. It is quite embarrassing to see her. What if she likes you? What if all the insults are because she cares about you? Baya probed. I don't have that kind of feeling towards her. It is the feeling of blushing and my heart palpitating when she looks at me. You have feelings for Xiaoxia? Zhang Xingyu lowered his head and scratched his head. He nodded. I understand. You go ahead with your work. I will ask for Xiaoxia's opinion when I come back, Baya said gently. Thank you, madam. Zhang Xingyu saluted. Baya wanted to look for Gu Lingqing. But when she reached the entrance of the courtyard, she did not know where Gu Lingqing was watching the soldiers practice. Moreover, he was busy with his work. It was not appropriate for her to go there. She went back to the courtyard and sat on the swing. It was a chilly November morning. The air was fresh and quiet, but there was a sense of loneliness. Zhang Xingyu liked Xiaoxia, and Xiaoxia liked Zhang Xingyu. Lin Shulan was destined to be hurt. She had brought Zhang Xingyu and Xiaoxia together, which was a form of harm to Lin Shulan. She actually wanted Lin Shulan to get rid of the demons in his heart. He had wrongly given his heart to her. Only when he found his heart again could he be reborn. When she came back, she had to guide Lin Shulan and find her a Mr. Right. She wanted everyone around her to be happy. I am Qin Tang Tang. The novel has been made into a radio drama. Follow me on WeChat Fairy Lake. Chapter 821. Time passed. Baya just sat there. It was too cold. She came down and practiced the boxing that Gu Lingqing taught her 3 times. Her face was sweating. She went back and prepared to take a shower. Xiaoya, time for breakfast, Song Shiyu said. Yes, thank you, Mom. I'll take a shower first. Is Shosho up yet? Baya looked at Shosho's room. He went to bed very late last night. He's still sleeping now. Thinking of Shosho's cute face, Baya smiled. She went into the bathroom and came out after the shower. She didn't want to have a child for the time being. It was too soon. So, she had to buy emergency contraceptive pills before boarding the plane. When she came out, Gu Lingqing was already back. He hugged her waist and kissed her on the forehead. Morning. What time did you get up this morning? I woke up at 6:30 and you weren't there. Baya was curious. The soldiers practice at 5:30. I went there at 5 o'clock. Gu Lingqing entered the room. Do you have to do this every day? Baya felt sorry for Gu Lingqing. It's a special situation. I don't have to go every day. It's the soldiers who have to work hard. I have a meeting at 8:30. What time is your flight? Gu Lingqing washed his hands and asked. My flight is at 11:53, but I have to wait 2 hours in advance. I'll leave after I have breakfast, pack my simple luggage, Baya said. Gu Lingqing was stunned. He turned to look at her. So fast? It's more than an hour to the airport. Time is tight. Don't take the car. Let the plane take you there. It'll only take half an hour. I'll get someone to get your boarding pass first. Then, you can arrive at 11 o'clock. My meeting will last for half an hour. I'll send you there. I'll definitely make it. Gu Lingqing wiped his hands and arranged. Don't worry about the meeting. You don't have to arrange a plane. It's too special. Just get someone to drive me to the airport. It's not like I won't come back. I'll come back after I'm done with the discussion, said Baya with a smile. Gu Lingqing held her arm and looked at her with burning eyes. She didn't say anything, but it seemed that she had said a lot. Baya also looked at him quietly. In the end, Gu Lingqing compromised. Call me when you arrive in country D, I will video chat with you, Baya said with a smile. Well, let's have breakfast. He took her hand and went downstairs. Song Shiyu brought them 2 bowls of tofu pudding. I made this tofu pudding myself. Try it. Mom made this. It's amazing, Baya praised. When I was young, Lingqing saw other people eating tofu pudding. I wanted to eat it too, so I learned, Song Shiyu explained. Mom is the best mom in the world, Baya said. Song Shiyu looked at Gu Lingqing. He was still cool. He lowered his head and drank the tofu pudding. Here are the buns I made. Eat slowly. Song Shiyu took out 2 meat buns. The buns she made were gray in color. The flour was not loose, so it was chewy and the meat was firm. It's so relaxing to have someone taking care of us, sighed Baya. Song Shiyu smiled. As long as you don't mind, I will always take care of you. Mom, Mom. Shosho's voice sounded. He ran towards Baya happily. Shosho called me. Song Shiyu bent down. Grandma, Dad, Mom, Mom. Shosho rushed towards Baya and hugged Baya's leg. Baya carried Shosho on her body. She picked up some meat from the bun and fed it to Shosho. Mua, mua, mua. Shosho made noises as he ate. His mouth was oily and red. His face was pink and tender. Baya couldn't help but kiss his face. Shosho kissed Baya's face too, leaving an oily spot. Baya was happy. Shosho, Mom is going out. She will be back in a few days. What present do you want? Mom will buy it for you. Shosho looked at Baya. Shosho wants to go too. Shosho is at home. Dad made a playground for Shosho. Mom will be back soon. Baya scratched Shosho's nose. Madam, I'm here for Shosho. Xiao Xia smiled and carried Shosho. Shosho looked at Baya and stretched out his hands. He wanted Baya to feed him. Baya had to pack her luggage. She didn't have much time. She looked at Shosho reluctantly. After Shanian's matter was settled, she wanted to stay here and spend some time with Shosho. This kind of life was too comfortable. Shosho, be good. Mom will go to the kitchen and get you some delicious buns. Grandma made them myself. Baya stood up. She didn't carry Shosho. She walked into the kitchen and took out 2 buns. She placed them on the dining table and went upstairs to pack her luggage. Gu Lingqing came upstairs after breakfast. He hugged Baya from behind. Baya looked at him and smiled. I'm only going for a few days. It's not like I won't come back. If you do this, I won't want to go. Gu Lingqing lowered his head and kissed her on the lips. Baya pushed him away and said helplessly, I really don't have time. If you don't have time, get the plane to send you there. Gu Lingqing said domineeringly. He held her chin and covered her mouth. She couldn't change his mind, so she just gave up. She would be fine if she took the medicine within 72 hours. At worst, she could go to country D and buy it again. When they finished, half an hour had passed. Baya looked at the time. It was 8:30. You have a meeting. Hurry up and get someone to send me there. Baya closed her luggage in a hurry. You really don't need me to accompany you? Gu Lingqing asked again. Baya smiled. How much did he want to accompany her? Sometimes, he seemed mature. But sometimes, he was childish. Wait for me to come back. Baya kissed his cheek. She made up her mind. Gu Lingqing had no choice but to get Zhang Xingyu to send Baya to the airport. On the way, Baya tidied up her luggage again. She saw a pharmacy nearby. Zhang Xingyu, stop by the roadside. I want to buy something. Okay. Zhang Xingyu stopped by the roadside. Baya quickly went to the pharmacy to buy the 72-hour emergency contraception. Then, she went to the convenience store to buy a bottle of water. She got into the car and took the medicine. Is Madam not feeling well? Zhang Xingyu asked worriedly. I'm fine. Baya said ambiguously. She looked out of the window and changed the topic. How much longer until we get there? There's no hurry. The chief will arrange for someone to handle the boarding pass. We only need to arrive at 11:20. We can definitely make it. He said that the food on the plane is not good. He asked me to take you to have a simple meal at 10 o'clock before sending you off. I only had breakfast at 7:30. It's a little early to eat at 10 o'clock. I'm not hungry. There's no need to go through so much trouble. You can just send me to the airport directly. The chief said that if you refuse, he will ask me to go to the restaurant to get the ordered food for you to eat on the plane. Baya, how worried was Gu Lingqing that she would not have enough to eat. I am Qin Tang Tang. The novel has been made into a radio drama. Follow me on WeChat Yao Qi. Chapter 822. However, she accepted his kind intentions. The plane flew for more than 6 hours, and she arrived in Country D. She had been sleeping on the plane. Fortunately, when she got off the plane, her head was only dizzy, but it didn't hurt. She went to the church to find the priest named Milo, according to the agreement she had with Lu Shuang. She expressed her intention, and the priest gave her a note. She searched according to the note and found that the door was closed, and there seemed to be no one inside. Did he go out? She saw the neighbor walking his dog, so she walked up and asked in a friendly manner, Hello, I want to ask, where did the neighbor go? You mean Luck? She left for a long time. A long time? Baya was shocked and puzzled. How long is a long time? Did she say where she went? About half a year. She left with Yen. They got married and went on a trip. As for when they will come back, I don't know, the neighbor said. Baya didn't come back to her senses for a few seconds. Lu Shuang and Jiang Yi got married? And they went on a trip together? How is that possible? What about Shinian? What should I do? Didn't they say that Lu Shuang likes Shinian? Is Gu Lingqing lying to her, or is the world unpredictable? The phone rang. Baya came back to her senses and saw that it was Gu Lingqing's call. She immediately answered. You're here? You didn't call me. Gu Lingqing's voice was very low, and there was a faint sense of sadness in it. Yes, I'm here. I came directly to Lu Shuang's place. Lu Shuang is not here anymore. The neighbor said that she left for half a year, Baya said worriedly. Her mind was blank. Left for half a year? She didn't contact you? No, she didn't send me an email either. I'm sure. I checked it before returning to China. Where would she go? What should I do? I can't find her. Baya was a little hesitant. The news was too shocking, and she was caught off guard. Don't worry. I have the heaven eyes, so I should be able to find out what happened half a year ago. I'll ask someone to check it now. Give me the address where Lu Shuang lived before, Gu Lingqing said. I will send it to you now, Baya said quickly. The investigation may take a few days. When will you come back? Gu Lingqing asked worriedly. Tomorrow, I'll be back tomorrow. Okay. Text me after you buy the plane ticket. I'll send someone to pick you up, Gu Lingqing said softly. Her tone was much better than before. Baya knew what Gu Lingqing was thinking. Although he didn't say it, he still cared about her very much. But where on earth did Lu Shuang go? If she couldn't find Lu Shuang, how could she save Shinian? Lu Shuang had married someone else. After Shinian came out, what could they do to stop Shinian's revenge? Baya found a hotel nearby. After checking in, the more she thought about it, the more confused she became. She remembered that Lu Shuang didn't want to be with Shinian. She helped Lu Shuang escape. What happened after that? Why did Lu Shuang fall in love with Shen Yiyan? She called Su Changhe. Baya, you're back. How do you feel? Su Changhe said warmly. Senior, do you know what happened to Lu Shuang? Baya asked. Lu Shuang is your friend, right? I know a little. Can you tell me everything? Hearing Baya's question, Su Changhe knew that she still hadn't remembered the past. She is the woman Shen Yiyan, the former president of a country. Shen Yiyan's wife is Hua Zixing from M country. Hua Zixing has a girl called Nan Gongyu. Shen Yiyan imprisoned Nan Gongyu for Lu Shuang. To protect Lu Shuang, Shen Yiyan even wanted to kill Nan Gongyu's brother. Because of this, Shen Yiyan was pulled down from the position of president and imprisoned. Lu Shuang was also sent away by Shen Yiyan. Does Lu Shuang like Shen Yiyan? Baya asked. I'm not sure about this. You know what happened to you. Even if I ask, you won't tell me. Moreover, I didn't ask, Su Changhe said apologetically. She could feel that Shen Yiyan liked Lu Shuang. What mattered was Lu Shuang's feelings. She didn't have a headache at first, but when she thought about it, she had a terrible headache. Unconsciously, she fell asleep without eating. At night, she had a dream. She dreamed that she was surrounded by darkness. It was so dark that she couldn't see her own fingers. She was alone. She called Gu Lingxing's name, but no one answered her. A girl's voice appeared and kept repeating the same sentence. Who are you? You are not Baya. Who are you? The voice was hoarse, and it was so sharp that it almost pierced her eardrums. Baya woke up in shock. She sat up, sweating all over. She picked up her phone and looked at it. It was already 6:00 in the morning in D country. She calmed herself down and went to the bathroom to brush her teeth. When she came out, she sat on the bed and spaced out for a while. She was at her wit's end in D country. She might as well think of a way when she returned home. Moreover, she had to meet Shen Yiyan again. She opened the app and booked a flight back to China at 10:20 a.m. She got up and checked out of the room. She had breakfast at a nearby restaurant before heading to the airport. On the way, she sent a message to Gu Lingxing. I've booked a flight back to China at 10:20 a.m. I'll arrive in a country at around 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. You go ahead with your work. I'll contact you then. Gu Lingxing called her immediately. Baya was slightly stunned. It was only 4 a.m. in a country now. Did you not sleep, or did I wake you up? Baya asked apologetically. I haven't slept yet. I want to settle everything today. I'll accompany you in the afternoon, Gu Lingxing said softly. It's not good for your health. Don't stay up late if you don't have to. You're older than me. What if you get sick? Hurry up and rest. I know. There's one thing. Because of the memory problem, the videos from 6 months ago are all gone. Now they're using face recognition. The key is that many of the video systems in D country still need to be decoded. So, they can't find her in a short time. I'm sorry. What about Shen Yiyan? If Lu Shuang is not here, I'm not sure if Shen Yiyan will take revenge. Baya consulted Gu Lingxing's opinion. You can't stop doing what you're supposed to do because of fear. Release Shen Yiyan as usual. He's not a bad person. If he's still in power, he should be a wise ruler. However, the political situation is unpredictable. There are many things that you can't do as you please. We'll discuss it after you come back. Well, if I can't mobilize Shen Yiyan's invisible force, I'll see if I can find mercenaries to solve this problem. No, Huo won't allow you to use mercenaries. This matter will become a weakness for him. I'll think of a way, Gu Lingxing said in a low voice. Okay. We'll talk about it when I come back. Go and rest early. Baya said and hung up the phone. She had just arrived at the airport when 8 people blocked her way. Baya wanted to escape subconsciously. She turned around and saw another 8 people walking towards her. I am Chin Tang Tang. The novel has been made into a radio drama. Follow me on WeChat Jade Lake. Chapter 823. Ning, who was hiding at the side, appeared immediately. There were infrared dots on the foreheads of the 16 people. If they acted rashly, they would go to hell immediately. As expected, those people stopped moving. They looked at each other. Little Bai. Lu Shuang's voice was heard. Bai Ye looked towards the source of the voice and saw Lu Shuang. Shuang, why are you here? Where have you been? Lu Shuang walked towards Bai Ye. They are my men. Jiang Yi knew that you were coming and found out that you bought a plane ticket. So I brought my men to wait for you here. Bai Ye looked around and said, they are Lu Shuang's men. The infrared dots on their foreheads disappeared. Lu Shuang smiled. Are those people protecting you? Bai Ye nodded. Gu Lingqing sent them. Is he okay? When I left, he was still in danger. Xing Buhua is not Gu Lingqing. Lu Shuang asked with concern. He is back in the military now. It's not that Hua promised us to release Shen Yan. He just needs your help. Lu Shuang lowered his eyes. There was sadness in his eyes. Then, he smiled again. Let's find a place to talk. I booked a flight at 10 o'clock. I'll change it to tomorrow. I'll call Lingqing, Bai Ye said and took out her phone. Get in the car first. Lu Shuang took Bai Ye's hand and walked away. Bai Ye noticed that Lu Shuang had something on his mind, but she also believed that Lu Shuang would not hurt her. She got into Lu Shuang's car first, but she was worried that Gu Lingqing was sleeping at this time, so she didn't call him. Instead, she texted him, Lingqing, you don't have to look for Lu Shuang anymore. Lu Shuang came to me just now. I want to talk to him today. I've changed the ticket to tomorrow. Lu Shuang glanced at Bai Ye's phone and smiled. It's great that you guys are still together. Bai Ye changed her ticket and looked at Lu Shuang. Your neighbor said that you're married. It's Jiang Yi, right? Lu Shuang nodded. Uncle has waited for me for such a long time. He has taken good care of me. Besides, I'm already so old. Other than uncle, no one else wants me. What about Shen Yan? Don't you like him? Bai Ye probed. Lu Shuang's eyes flickered. He wanted to say something but stopped. Bai Ye held her hand. Is there anything else that you can't tell me? Xiaoya, people's feelings will change. The person I like now is uncle. Shen Yan might not be able to come out for the rest of his life. Lu Shuang lowered his head. Bai Ye frowned slightly. What you mean is that you liked Shen Yan before, but because Shen Yan was arrested, you thought that he would never be able to come out for the rest of his life. So when you were with Jiang Yi, you fell in love with Jiang Yi? Yes, Lu Shuang replied. His chest was heaving up and down violently. He didn't dare to look at Bai Ye. But now, Shen Yan is going to be released. I'm here to talk to you about this, Bai Ye said. Lu Shuang didn't hide her surprise. She held Bai Ye's hand. He's really going to be released. Is what you said true? Bai Ye looked at Lu Shuang calmly. Lu Shuang also realized that she was too impulsive. Her face looked weird, but she still couldn't hide her joy. She murmured, I knew it. He wouldn't be locked up forever. He would definitely come out. She couldn't hold back her tears. Her tears fell on the back of Bai Ye's hand. With Bai Ye's knowledge, she could tell that Lu Shuang was unusual at first glance. Since she believed that Shen Yan would be released, how could she have said that Shen Yan would never be able to come out for the rest of his life? Lu Shuang was a straightforward person. She wasn't good at pretending and hiding. She must have something on her mind. That was why she was so contradictory and contrasting. His crime of imprisoning Nan Gongyu isn't small. We can't release Xing Buhua directly. We need you to save him, Baya said. Save him. We have to save him. Tell me, how do I save him? Lu Shuang asked immediately. Baya looked at the chauffeur. Let's get out of the car and take a walk. I haven't seen the scenery of Country D, bring me around. Lu Shuang knew that Baya wanted to talk to him alone. He nodded. Okay. Stop the car. They held hands and went to the park nearby. Are you sure you don't have any listening devices on you? Baya asked. I don't think so. But maybe someone put it on me. I don't know, Lu Shuang said uncertainly. Let's make sure everything is safe. I'll get someone to check on you. Baya called Zhang Xingyu. After a while, a hidden figure came out. He used a device to check on the two of them and confirmed that there were no problems. Baya then said, what we mean is that we need you to personally contact an invisible person to save Shanian. This is just on the surface. The truth is, when you guys save him, it will cause a huge fire. We'll tell the public that Shanian died in the fire. In fact, we'll release him and he'll live an incognito life. Shall Bai? Lu Shuang wanted to say something but stopped. He looked at Baya worriedly. What's wrong? Baya didn't understand. Lu Shuang still didn't say it. He changed his words and said, I don't need an invisible person, okay? I'll get Jiang Yi to save him. Jiang Yi is from Country D. Even if they pursue the matter, they won't be able to pursue it to Country D. Is that okay? This is the best. However, Shen Ian likes you, and you're married to Jiang Yi. If Jiang Yi rescues him, have you thought about how to deal with the relationship between the three of you? I'll make it clear to Shen Ian. I'm already married. He deserves to find a better one. He was pulled down from the position of president because of you and was locked up for so long. When he comes out, he'll know that you're married. I'm worried that he might not be able to take it, Baya reminded. Lu Shuang's eyes turned red. His eyes flickered as he avoided Baya's gaze. I don't know what to do either. Anyway, the first thing is to save him. As for the other things, we'll talk about it later. Moreover, I remember that Shen Yan and Jiang Yi didn't have a good relationship, right? Baya didn't know if this information was real or just her imagination. Shen Yan had a girlfriend who was Jiang Xingyu's sister. She committed suicide for Shen Yan. So, Jiang Xingyu hates Shen Yan. That's how their hatred came about, Lu Shuang explained. So, if you use Jiang Ye's people to save Shen Yan, will he help? Baya doubted. He will. In fact, the one who will save Shen Yan is not him, but you guys. At that time, Shen Yan will still be free, and Jiang Xingyu might not be able to find him. Moreover, the power behind Shen Yan is actually very strong. Even if he doesn't become president, Jiang Xingyu won't be able to deal with him. But if you marry Jiang Yi, it will become a sharp knife that will pierce Shen Yan's heart. I don't want it either, Lu Shuang said softly. What do you mean by that? Baya understood what he was implying. I am Qin Tang Tang. The novel has been made into a radio drama. Follow me on WeChat Fairy Lake that you're tuning in to the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.